Last time on Dragon Ball Chaos Crossover Z, the Chaos Z fighters faced their toughest challenge yet, when the mighty Saiyans arrived on Earth. Although our heroes put up an excellent fight, and even Eggman arrived to help, though the Saiyans were too powerful and many lives were lost. However, Goku and Sonic returned from their training with King Kai, and after witnessing a tragedy, Sonic unleashed a dark transformation, defeating Vegeta and ending the threat of the Saiyans. With Piccolo gone though, Kami and the Dragon Balls are gone as well, so the group makes preparations to Piccolo's home planet Namek to use their Dragon Balls and revive their friends. Before our remaining heroes depart, however, they'll have to face another opponent. Who will they battle before they take off? Find out now. Aboard the egg carrier, the group stare at Vegeta in the healing tank. Eggman says that he uses this tank to house Metal Sonic and Metal Goku, so its healing properties won't work fully on Vegeta. But at least it'll keep him from dying. Goku tells him that's a good thing, as they need him alive and try and find out where this Namek is. Goku, Sonic, and Krillin are hesitant on trusting Eggman after all that he's done over the years. But he tries to explain that he's attempting to be better. It's still his mission in life to destroy the two of them, but after what happened with Piccolo and Shadow, he decided it would do him some good to team up against the big baddies. That way, neither of them have to die. Still not something they fully trust, but really, if it wasn't for Eggman, then a whole lot more people would have died. So they have to thank him on that one. They also flew by to pick up Amy from Korin Tower, who thankfully survived a Cybermen explosion and was healed up by one of Korin's Senzu beams. Sonic is really happy to see Amy, as at least she made it. She is devastated to find out that Tails and so many others died against the Saiyans. But at least they have the small ray of hope in Namek. They just hope that Vegeta wasn't lying about Piccolo and Kami being aliens. Eventually, Vegeta comes to and attempts to escape the pod, but he is far too weak to escape or do any damage against all these powerhouses in front of him. Goku asks him why he decided to come here and kill all of his friends. What could he possibly gain from that? Vegeta smiles, revealing that it's just in the Saiyan nature to fight and kill. Doesn't he have a drive for fighting? He's lying if he doesn't. Goku goes closer to Vegeta, saying that of course he does, but he would never go out of his way to kill innocent people. He'd only go after the ones who hurt people, like him. They should finish him off, but he has valuable information that may be able to undo all of the damage he's caused. Vegeta assumes that they're talking about the Chaos Emeralds, but no, he's talking about the Dragon Balls. Goku explains to Vegeta about Kami and the Dragon Balls, and if he was lying about Piccolo being a Namekian. He is surprised to hear all this talk about Dragon Balls, which objects like these he could just as easily gain the ultimate power. If they're on Namek, then he has a chance of defeating Black Doom and even better, Frieza. Vegeta says he wasn't lying, and if they head to Namek, they could find Dragon Balls there. To try and gain an alliance, he says that with them, they could also defeat the villainous Black Doom, who destroyed the Saiyan race. Goku and Sonic know who he is from King Kai, and Reddit says that the other Saiyans needed their help to defeat him. Vegeta says that Frieza, their ruler, has been trying to deal with Black Doom forever now, though around 6 years ago, that became impossible, as Black Doom gained an immense power and was able to defeat many of Frieza's troops in a single blast. Frieza was getting desperate and told the Saiyans if they didn't go out to kill Black Doom, then he would kill them himself. This left them in a no-win situation, as they knew that they would easily be killed by Black Doom. This is why Raditz came to Earth to find Kakarot, and once him and Nappa heard about the Chaos Emeralds, they knew coming here might be their best bet against Doom and Frieza. Sonic begins to change again. A dark aura surrounds him as he yells at Vegeta. They could have helped him. If they had just come here and asked for their help, they would have done anything in their power to defeat those two tyrants, especially since Raditz was Goku's own brother. But no, they had to be selfish assholes and act even worse than Eggman over here and kill all of their friends. They are so stupid to act just as evil, and now they'll have no help whatsoever. Maybe it's a good thing that all these Saiyans are extinct. Goku tries to calm Sonic down some more, as if he unleashes more power, he's gonna blow up the egg carrier. Sonic reverts back and says that they'll never help him, and should just hand him over to Black Doom now. Sonic runs off with Eggman telling Goku to let him go. Sonic powers up into his Kaioken to fly off of the egg carrier, and then runs around to clear his head. All he can see is Vegeta killing Tails, something he'll never forgive him for. He never wants to kill, but this guy, he deserves it. They can't just leave him here while they go off to Namek, as he'll kill whoever is left, he's sure of it. Sonic eventually exhausts his Kaioken and stops right in front of the king's castle, exhausted. Princess Sally notices Sonic and goes over to try and help him out. Sonic is brought inside and tells Sally about all that's happened. The news of the deaths of everybody shocks Sally, and she's even more shocked on Sonic's behavior, as she's never seen him so angry before. He's always somebody who is so carefree in attitude, always on top of everything, but this battle seems to have broken his spirit. Sally tells Sonic that it's okay to be angry about his friends. It's something that everybody goes through more than once in their lives. He doesn't need to push everybody else away though. He still has plenty of friends who are willing to help him, and with all of them working together, they can revive the fallen. It won't be easy, but hey, they've survived so many things already. Eggman, Chaos, Shadow, now the Saiyans. As long as they're all able to keep a cool head and keep Vegeta in check, they can go to Namek, revive everybody, and maybe eventually find Frieza and Black Doom. This pep talk actually gave Sonic a chance to clear his mind. He's really happy he confided in Sally and thanks her for helping. Sally blushes, saying he's helped save her life more than once, so of course she can help save his. She asks if she can come up to the egg carrier as well, as if she's up there, she could talk to Vegeta to get him to cooperate in getting them to Namek. Sonic is worried for her safety, but trusts her enough that she won't get herself killed. Sonic flies Sally back up to the egg carrier, where Goku is happy to see that he's come back around. Sally is able to threaten Vegeta enough to get him to cooperate in getting them to Namek, and the group begin their preparations for getting there. The world of Mobius was a beautiful planet due to King Jules' fantastic ruling, keeping everything in the greatest of conditions. However, this time his king left him little for his three children, Scourge, Sonia, and Namek. The three felt neglected, as their parents would always excuse themselves from them for multitudes of reasons. They have an important meeting to attend to, they have to meet with the leader of the Echidna tribe, they have to renew the peace treaty, yada yada. They couldn't stand being the children of royalty, since they were forced to go to all of these boring ceremonies and play the part of the perfect children. It especially ate away at Scourge, who hated his father the most out of his siblings. One day, he decided he wasn't going to live like this anymore. He went up to his siblings and tore off their royal crests. He threw them each to the ground and shattered all three. He told them that was how he felt about this family, and today is the day everything will change. They would overthrow him and rule the land the way that they wanted to. Sonia and Namek followed their brother's rules very carefully to form a team and take down their father. They gained the trust of the Mobius scientist, Rodor, and the captain of the Royal Guard, Antoine. Antoine was able to convince the Royal Guard to stand with them, while Rodor was able to use his robotics genius to transform a simple Mobian called Bunny into Bunny Rabbot, a powerful, killing machine. The coup was planned, with Scourge jumping his father during a ceremony and stabbing him to death on stage. Sonya took her mother by surprise, shooting her in the head with a blaster that she herself gave her, with Namek taking down the rest of the Senate around them. The remaining soldiers were easily taken out by Antoine's royal guard, while Bunny Rabbit racked up the highest body count in modern Mobian memory. Scourge rose up to the top and announced his rule.
Mobius! Today is the day. This great piece shit. What a joke. It's time for us to finally wake up, be free of this oppression, and finally make our own rules.
The remaining citizens, having little or to no option, instantly submitted to Scourge's will, and the planet was put under the strict rule of him and his siblings, who were able to easily kill anybody who got in their way. However, there was one particular group of rebels who were always in the way, due to their mystical artifacts, the Soul Emeralds. The Soul Emeralds were thought to be a myth, but Scourge learned the hard way that they were not, when the leader of the rebels, Blaze the Cat, utilized their powers to transform into Burning Blaze, and with this power, even Scourge couldn't defeat her. She managed to wipe out the royal guard, even the mighty Bunny Rabbit. Scourge was fast enough to save himself and his siblings, but not powerful enough to do any damage to Burning Blaze. However, as they battled, they realized that the power of the Soul Emeralds doesn't last forever, and eventually, Blaze reverted back to normal. Even though most of their troops were dead, Scourge and his siblings were more than powerful enough to defeat Blaze on their own. So, Blaze and a rebellion had no choice but to retreat. Scourge and his siblings overtook control once again and realized the only way they would be able to truly rule is to get their hands on the Soul Emeralds. But they can't head into the rebel camp by themselves, or else Blaze might use their powers once again and kill them all. The three continue to search for a power greater than the Soul Emeralds, however, are never able to find a power by themselves. Until the planet got its first taste of alien life. Alien invaders arrived, and a gigantic tree was planted which drained the planet of all of its life energy. This didn't go unnoticed to Scourge and a squad, who visited the invaders at the base of the tree.
Yo, this is a sick-ass looking tree here. Where the hell did you guys get something like this?
Greetings, Mobian. My name is Turles, and this is the Tree of Might.
Wait, that a shit name for a good tree.
Foul-mouthed little creatures here.
You mind if I take that off your hands there, ape boy? Crew and I definitely need it more than you.
It seems you don't quite know your place in this universe yet, rodent. Who do you think you're talking to?
I conquered this whole damn planet. Just who do you think?
Scourge is cut off from an attack by the Freedom Fighters, who have arrived to investigate the Tree of Might as well.
Oh, god damn it. These lamos again?
And who are these ones? Only one of their power levels is somewhat interesting.
The damn Freedom Fighters. They're trying to take back the world or whatever. A real pain in my ass.
Turles simply flicks his hand and unleashes a gigantic blast that eradicates the crew rushing towards them. Scourge's mouth drops in shock at how this crew was destroyed so fast. The troublesome Blaze appears out of the smoke to rush Turles, but he simply tanks her punch to the face.
No wonder you took over this planet so easily, rat! The competition is a joke.
Turles grabs Blaze's fist and shoves his hand in her face. A ki blast is unleashed head-on into Blaze, with her seemingly being eradicated.
What I meant to say was, wanna join my crew? Bet we could take over this dump real good together.
I think my tree has exhausted most of your planet's resources, and yet there's still not a single fruit produced. None of these planets have enough energy.
That right?
Shut it, rat! I'd kill you. You'd be a valuable asset to my Crusher Corps, though. Under my rule, of course.
Appreciate the invite, Ape Man. If it leads to killing more innocent peeps, then I'm in.
Scourge and Turles then infiltrate the Freedom Fighter camp, with Scourge finding the Soul Emerald sealed away. While searching, they find some research that their deceased scientist Dr. Kintobor was working on. He has harnessed powers from the Soul Emeralds themselves to create a prototype interdimensional gateway.
What are these Soul Emeralds in his notes?
Oh, these are nothing. Just some rocks. Pretty native to the planet, actually. Good for nothing. Only if you're real smart, you can do something with them.
Scourge takes the emeralds and puts them in his father's old seal, hoping that Turles won't try to use them for himself.
Well, according to these notes, we can travel to other universes. He hypothesized there were many out there, maybe even up to 13 at a point, though the closest he could get is the universe twin to our own.
He presses the combinations Kintobor put together, and the portal opens, revealing a planet opposite Mobius, one teeming with all kinds of life. Turles and Scourge look at each other and smile, then look back at the portal. A new world is about to be put under their rule. Goku erupts into his Akari form, screaming out as he tries to combine the move with the Kaioken, which is somewhat working, but he can't use both of them together for very long until his body almost gives out.
Ah, darn, I was really hoping that would work this time!
Why are you so focused on that monkey power anyways? I told you you should have focused in on that pseudo super form. Without the emeralds around, we're gonna need all the super we can get for the trip to Namek.
You know I've always hated having to use the emeralds anyways. It's better training if I'm able to tap into the power myself. That power I used against Garlic Jr., it didn't feel like a super form. It felt more like the power I have now. My Ikari form felt more like that.
Maybe it's got something to do with you being a Saiyan and all.
Maybe like a Super Saiyan.
That's a good one.
If you don't mind me asking, what would you call that power you showed off to Vegeta?
I had a feeling you'd ask about it eventually.
Of course I would. I could sense chaos power in you, but not the kind like when we were kids. This was some kind of power working off of your emotions. Don't get me wrong, this power was way higher than anything I could put out, but it didn't feel anything like you, Sonic. Just be careful with it is all I'm saying. I wouldn't want to call your new power Dark Sonic.
I'm here. I sense that large power. What happened?
Nothing here, Gohan, just doing some light training.
Whoa, don't scare me like that.
Gohan powers down and slumps away. Ever since the battle with the Saiyans, Gohan's been very much on edge. He feels like it's his fault that Piccolo, Knuckles, Tails, and all of the others died because he was too weak. Goku and Sonic have been trying to help him feel better, but he's still on edge a lot of the time. That's why Goku suggested taking him out camping to try and get him to feel more relaxed. He can't stay for very long, since somebody's gotta watch after Vegeta to make sure he doesn't try anything, but Gohan should be fine with Sonic and the others, as if on cue, Princess Sally, Bulma, and Krillin showed up, ready to start their camping trip, the last hurrah before they head off to Namek.
Hey there, Gohan. How are you?
Greetings, Princess Sally. It's nice to see you again.
No need to be so formal, Gohan. You know that Sally is just fine. Your Uncle Sonic here told me that you wanted a dog?
No?
Well, I got you something even better.
From out behind Sally, Icarus the dragon flies towards Gohan, licking his face.
Oh my gosh! Thank you for the gift, Sally. I love him.
With his new friend, Gohan is able to relax and have fun with all of his friends.
Thanks for the gift, Sally. I know it's gonna make him feel a lot better.
Anytime, Goku. No child his age should have seen the things he saw. He deserves to feel like a kid before he goes out again.
Gohan goes flying throughout the camp on Icarus, laughing and enjoying his pet's company. As they're flying around though, the two see a flash of light, and a fire erupting in the woods.
Oh no! The force is on fire!
Gohan and Icarus fly back to the camp, and as soon as they get back, the others noticed a fire burning as well.
The animals! We need to get them out of here.
Stand back, guys. It's time for some Sonic speed.
Sonic rushes right into the forest fire, and uses his sonic wind to put out as much of it as he can. Though, as he's running around, he gets blasted in the side of his head. Sonic tumbles into a nearby tree as he hears some girl yell out,
Scourge, what the hell are you doing?
Sonic stands up and sees a female hedgehog looking right at him with some weird kind of blaster in her hand.
I can ask the same thing of you, lady, and the name's Sonic. Are you the one who set the forest on fire?
Technically, I didn't. My brother started it, but I didn't stop him.
Mind pointing me in his direction so I can kick his butt too?
Ha! You're just as cocky as Scourge, too. Guess some things stay the same no matter the universe.
Universe? What are you talking about?
Sonic senses another attack coming from behind, and he jumps out of the way just in time. He looks in the direction of who fired and sees another hedgehog, a green one this time, with drumsticks?
Jeez, you really are as fast as him. That's so cool.
How about we talk this out? Hedgehogs to hedgehog. No burning down the homes of thousands of woodland creatures.
Nah, sis, you hearing this? I never thought I'd hear compassion in his tone.
He was right. You look just like him, but you could be more different.
Sonya fires another blast at him, with Sonic kicking it right back at her. Sonya, surprised, jumps out of the way, with Namek firing more blasts from his drumsticks. Sonic dodges these easily as well, and nails Namek right in the gut.
Woo! Been waiting on an excuse to kick your ass.
Did I do something to you?
He quickly dodges another incoming blast and throws Sonya right into her brother. The two stagger as Sonic quickly ties them both to a tree together.
And that's that with the Pyro Psychos. Now to put out the rest of... Attention to the scrubs of this zone. The king has arrived. Respect. What?
Sonic is hit across the face at lightning speed. Scourge revs for another, with Sonic blocking and going to trade another blow with this hedgehog. This hedgehog looks exactly like him. Scourge revs up a figure 8 and nails Sonic in the jaw, staggering him back as he then runs off and unties his siblings.
I left you wimps alone for, what, a minute? 2? 3 tops, and you get your asses beat? How pathetic are you two?
Shove it, Scourge. Where the hell did you go?
Hit the goods? I thought I could leave you twerps alone. How'd you go and find him already?
Dude, he came to us.
That right?
Scourge runs over to Sonic and looks him up and down. The two then instantly begin to run around each other, clashing at supersonic speeds around the forest. They match blow for blow, and Scourge just laughs.
Didn't expect anybody else to be able to keep up with me, especially not somebody who looks like me from my high school days. Well, ain't you a riot? Could say the same for you, Blue. Think you can keep up?
Scourge blasts off with Sonic right behind him. The two run all through the forest at top speeds, neck and neck. The forest is put out right away by the winds and shockwaves the two hedgehogs produce, and the two continue to race around.
This is so much fun. But sorry to say I can't stick around, Blue. Got some evil plans. Your sister was right. You really are that cocky. You're going away for burning down this forest, Baker. I haven't shown you an ounce of my real speed yet. Oh, I had a feeling that. But if you're anything like me, then teleportation ain't really a thing.
Scourge presses a button, with Sonic hearing a beeping noise behind his head. Scourge's teleporter activates, and Sonic teleports away. Sally, Krillin, and Gohan rush in, asking the three who they are.
Sorry, kiddies. Would love to talk, but I got a juice.
Scourge takes his siblings and runs away, with Sonic running back to the camp a few minutes later, since Scourge teleported him halfway across the planet. That hedgehog, Scourge, who is he? All of the Z Fighters have been gathered at Goku's house, putting together a plan on how to take down these hedgehogs.
Hedgehog guy looked like you and had your speed?
Yeah, but he wasn't so tough. If his siblings weren't in the way, I'd be able to take care of them in no time.
So you want us to hold off the other two while you deal with your doppelgangers?
I don't think it's gonna be that easy. I sense others with those three as well. We're gonna need to hold off a lot more than just those other two hedgehogs.
Speaking of those other hedgehogs, any idea why they look so much like you, Sonic? Any siblings you're not telling us about?
The only family I remember is my Uncle Chuck. If I had any brothers or sisters, I know he would have told me about them. This Scourge seems like more than just a faker, though. We gotta keep an eye on him.
Do you think Eggman has anything to do with this? I can have my father send him right now.
It can't be robots. I could sense their energy. Those robot versions of Dad and Uncle Sonic don't have any ki, but these guys do.
Then, who could they be?
Are you sure you guys want to know?
Oh, hey, King Kai. You know who these guys are?
I was looking into them shortly after Sonic's battle, and it seems the situation is worse than I thought. These warriors are from another universe.
Another universe?
That's right. There exist other universes outside of our own. And when I'm not sure how many there are, I know that these visitors must come from the one closest to our own, our twin universe. That's the reason why the Scourge acts and looks just like Sonic. It's his evil twin from another universe.
Wait a sec, King Kai. If this guy is my twin from another universe, then does that mean there are evil versions of all of us in that universe?
I'm not so sure if all of them are evil, but there may be other versions of everybody, yes.
God, does that mean there could be an evil me here as well?
Let's hope there's not for all of our sakes. I don't think my heart can take seeing an evil Goku.
That's not all. These intruders have brought in a dangerous kind of tree that is draining all life on this planet. You all need to stop them before it's too late.
A life-draining tree? You mean the Tree of Might? Where the hell did these rodents get something like that?
You know what that tree is?
It's a weapon that us Saiyans used to use in battle back when we lived on planet Sadala. We used it to drain other planets of their life force, and to grow a fruit that could grant us unimaginable power. The seeds all died out once we left the planet Vegeta, so how could these clowns have gotten one? Unless the evil Sonic is with a Saiyan.
A doppelganger of you?
I'm not sure, but sitting around here thinking isn't gonna solve anything. Chaotix, you guys stay here and watch after Vegeta. Make sure he doesn't get into any trouble while we're away. Oh, you don't trust me around a little tree, Kakarot? Nah, I just don't trust you in general. Let's go, guys.
Dad, you think I could come too?
Of course, Gohan. I'm sorry, Chi-Chi, but he's one of the strongest on the planet now. Him coming with us will help show him how to fight, and prepare him for Namek, trust me.
Chi-Chi eventually agrees, and Gohan is allowed to go off to help. Sally also pipes up, telling Sonic that she's coming along to fight as well. She's princess of this planet, and will do her best to defend it now. Sonic tells her it'll be suicide, but Sally tells him that while the group were training for the Saiyans, her and Tails were working on a suit of armor for her, but they weren't able to finish. She finished it off herself, and now she's ready. She activates the suit on her watch, and Sally is coated in a metallic armor, becoming Mecha Sally. Sonic is impressed, and since they need all help they can get, why not have Sally come? He has to admit, he is really impressed by this armor, and finds himself blushing on how cool she looks. Goku notices and punches him in the arm, laughing. The Z-Fighters all arrive at the base of the Tree of Might, and since they can all sense energy, they can feel the essence of the Earth leaving. They need to get rid of this thing now. Goku, Sonic, Gohan, and Krillin fire a Kamehameha at the tree, with Sally firing a laser and Chaozu a Dodonpa. All of these beams combine and hit the tree head on, but it doesn't even put a dent in it. They all then hear laughing as Scourge the Hedgehog comes into view.
Did you losers think that would work? Man, people in this universe really are dumb as bricks.
Wow, bro. He brought a whole crew with him this time. Wanna even the odds a little bit?
Namek throws out a capsule, and out blows 2 star goalposts. The goalposts activate, and a huge portal opens from behind them. Sally yells out that this must be the way they got to this dimension, and she blasted the device to destroy it. However, her blast is deflected by what just stepped through. It looks like her. Alicia Acorn steps out of the portal and looks at her doppelganger, saying, "Man, alternate her is really ugly." The rest of the suppression squad step out of the portal as well. Boomer Walrus, Patch Decollette, Fiona Fox, and most surprisingly of all, Miles Prowler and Rosie the Rascal. Sonic's heart drops. This guy looks just like Tails. And Amy can't believe the resemblance between her and Rosie. It's like looking in a mirror.
Seems like a battle of the doppelgangers. Suppression Squad, charge!
Goku and Sonic go after Scourge and his siblings, as the others go after the Suppression Squad. Gohan clashes fists with Miles, swinging around him and engaging in hand-to-hand. Gohan is throwing his punches, as Miles just reminds him too much of Tails. Miles uses this to his advantage, getting some extra blows in on the boy. These don't actually hurt much on Gohan, which gets Miles annoyed. He flies off and begins to fire multiple ki blasts, which catches Gohan off guard. Gohan then realizes that this guy isn't really anything like Tails. He uses ki much more so than Tails, and doesn't even fly using his own twin tails. He just uses his ki. So Gohan can use that to his advantage. Gohan flies all around, avoiding all of Miles' ki attacks. And since the Fox is using that ki to fly, he's beginning to run out of energy, which tires him out enough where Gohan is able to knock him out in a single blow. Gohan catches Miles before he hits the ground, and he lowers him down to the ground himself. Gohan stares at Miles for a moment, and then flies off to go help his friends. Krillin catches Boomer Walrus's punch, and can only hold it off for a bit before he has to fly off. Boomer then raises his other arm, and fires out a beam right at Krillin's face. Krillin is hit dead on, and sent flying into a nearby cliff. Boomer rushes back to him, and begins to swing more at Krillin. Krillin can block some of the hits, but Boomer is a very heavy hitter, which isn't helping Krillin much. He flies back, and launches a solar flare right in Boomer's face. Krillin then launches a Destructo Disc, with Boomer somehow dodging out of the way, and blasting it with one of his cannons.
Darn it! I thought that would work this time. How'd you see it coming?
Boomer shows that only one of his eyes is his own, while his other is mechanical. Boomer then jumps up and slams Krillin to the ground, knocking him out with another Sonic Cannon. Sally holds off Alicia and Fiona, doing her best to hold them off hand to hand. Thankfully, she's got her suit to give her somewhat of an advantage, but it's still tough against two opponents. Her and Alicia are evenly matched, with Fiona being a little weaker, but more feisty, with her style being pretty predictable for Sally. Luckily for her though, she has her own Jarvis in this suit, you might say, as she has her own robot guide Nicole in her ear, helping her out the best she can. Nicole is able to even pull a Lila from Spider-Verse and just appear outside of Sally's suit as a hologram to distract Alicia and Fiona for Sally. With Nicole's help, Sally is able to defeat her own doppelganger, and even Fiona by herself, by catching Alicia's whip and nailing Fiona with it right in her temple. Patch stabs at Chaozu, almost slashing him with his sword. Chaozu uses telekinesis to hold him in place, and then slam him into the ground. Patch snarls at this, and does his best to move, but it's pretty hard. Chaozu flies around battling Patch, and even uses a Dodonpa to hit him right in the face. Patch is being beaten around pretty badly, until he's able to move just enough to prick Chaozu with a poison needle. Chaozu begins to cough up blood as the poison spreads in his body. With Chaozu distracted, Patch is able to break free of the telekinesis and slash at Chaozu, cutting a huge gash in the side of his body. Chaozu falls to the ground, about to die, as Gohan appears in a rage at seeing Chaozu hurt. Gohan fires a Masenko dead on in his face, killing him.
I'm sorry, but I'm not gonna let any more of my friends die!
Icarus comes over to Gohan, and Gohan puts Chaozu on Icarus's back, telling him to go bring him to a hospital. Icarus squawks in understanding, and flies off as fast as he can to save Chaozu. Amy narrowly dodges Rosie's hammer swing as she deflects her next with her own. This Rosie is literally insane. She's foaming at the mouth, swinging her hammer around, and is truly aiming in for the kill. Though since Amy is a master at the hammer, she can deflect all day and tries her hardest to hit back. But Rosie is unbelievably powerful.
Oh, it's such a cute little hedgehog to squish. Why are you doing this? Aren't we like sisters or something? Nuh-uh. You're breathing. Which means I need to fix that for you.
Amy is knocked around, with Rosie laughing and mocking her the whole time. Gohan then flies in and catches Rosie's hammer before she can deal the final blow.
Hey, you ruined my big squish.
Gohan powers up, throwing the hammer right back at Rosie. Gohan flies in punching her, with him very disturbed by how Rosie is still laughing as he's laying into her. Rosie fights back and is able to deal some damage to Gohan. Amy is able to appear over her and land a devastating hammer blow to the side of her head, causing it to twist unnaturally and break. Amy and Gohan look down, disturbed to see that she's still smiling up at them. The two then rejoin with Sally and watch Boomer take out Krillin. The three head up to battle Boomer, but he is leagues above the rest. He's able to send them flying around with his sonic cannons and blows off huge chunks of Sally's armor.
Okay, Gohan. Now would be a really good time for you to get angry.
Doesn't work that way, Aunt Amy.
Boomer rattles them all, with Sally having Nicole hack into his cybernetics, hoping to get them offline. Thankfully, this works, as Nicole is able to hack into his eye and his cannons, disabling them completely. With that, the three are able to land the final blow and take out Boomer. The three breathe a sigh of relief and then go to check on Goku and Sonic, when a figure flies down in front of them. Gohan is happy at first, thinking that's his dad, but this guy is not his father. Goku and Sonic clash against the three hedgehogs. Scourge battles with Sonic as Goku is stuck with Sonya and Namek. Sonya and Namek seem to rely on their musical instrument blasters, which indeed are powerful, but if that's the best that they can muster, then Goku can handle them. He yells out Kaioken and explodes in energy. He flies around and slams Namek right in the back, launching him right into Sonya. The two slam against a tree of might as Goku launches a Kamehameha right at the two, knocking them unconscious. The mighty Saiyan, Turles, peers at Gohan and laughs.
So you're the hybrid I heard about. You're pretty powerful for a wee one. Perhaps once this planet dies, you can come back to my universe and join my crew.
I would never join an evil Saiyan like you. You're gonna pay for tails.
Gohan rushes Turles, with Turles easily able to deflect all of his blows. He knees Gohan in the chest and backhands him, launching him into the ground. Sally and Amy yell out, with Sally flying right up to Turles and launching a blast point blank in his face. This doesn't affect him at all, and he decks Sally across her face, shattering her armor and knocking her right out. Amy launches up and swings at Turles with her hammer, but Turles catches it and slams the two into the ground with Amy's own hammer. He swings it around and laughs.
That hedgehog squad fell to these weaklings? Maybe it was a mistake to have him come along.
Well, screw you too, Space Kong. A little help over here?
Sonic is shocked how fast this guy took his friends out, and he flies right over to him and kicks him in the chest. He nails Sonic with a powerful gut punch, shocked at the power in that blow. Goku rushes over to save him and flies back with Sonic.
Are you okay?
I think so.
Scourge and Turles land next to each other, with Turles handing Scourge a strange-looking fruit. That must be the fruit from the tree of might Vegeta told them about. Scourge takes a huge bite from the fruit and eats it down as fast as he can. Then he smirks as he begins to grow in power. A green glow surrounds Scourge as he powers right up, his entire body turning green.
Talk about an upgrade. New meaning to lean, mean, and green.
The fruit from the tree helps others grow in all sorts of ways. Now maybe you can actually be useful.
Oh, piss off, you no-good excuse of a monkey pirate.
Turles goes to eat his own fruit, with Goku firing a beam at him to stop it. Though, Scourge rushes in front of Turles to deflect the blast, and it flies right back into Goku. Goku stumbles back in pain, not expecting that. Turles finishes his fruit and bulks up considerably, exploding in energy.
So, think we can take him?
I think so.
They smile at each other, and Goku and Turles fly into the air as Sonic glares down Scourge.
Playtime's over, pal! What the heck is going on?
Damn, Blue. Where the hell did you let a form like that?
Nah, it ain't a form. It's a technique I learned while training in Otherworld.
Otherworld? What, did you die or something?
Wrong again. I was granted access to train there. That way, I can deal with monsters like you.
Bet you top dollar you feel high and mighty calling me a monster, don't you? Well, a little birdie told me somebody's got a little monstrous energy in them. Something of the dark, I wager.
Sonic flinches and increases his Kaioken to times 4, asking Scourge who the hell told him about that. Scourge points over to Turles, revealing that he's the reason why he knows so much about him. Problem is though, these powers were a lot stronger than they anticipated. Even with the amazing power from the fruit of the Tree of Might, the two may not be able to win this as they are now. But they planned for this. He hid them away when he got to this universe, and now it's time to show him off. They're gonna end this. Scourge gives a signal to Turles, and the two of them blast off, while Goku lands next to Sonic, confused.
Okay, let's do this! What? think you can stand up to me?
You surprised me a little, but not much.
If you die, I'm in trouble. Let's get this over with.
Now I'll show you! What? Chaos Blast!
No!
What?
As much as I dislike relying on others, I'm grateful for your aid.
They watch as the Tree of Might disintegrates all around them, as the Soul Emerald's power was able to eat away at the tree and give the earth back its life energy. Blaze then introduces herself as Blaze the Cat. She fills the two in on who she is, and that she was almost killed before arriving here. but managed to use her connection with the Soul Emeralds to teleport her into this universe. She tried to track down the emeralds, but Scourge had hidden them away. But with them out, she was able to use them to transfer their power away from that blasted King Scourge. With him out of the picture now, they can restore her universe to what it once was. She thanks them for all of their help, and chants the Soul Emeralds away from them. She surrounds herself, saying that she's indebted to them, and that if they ever need her, then to give her a call. The Soul Emeralds then erupt in power, teleporting Blaze back into her dimension. Goku and Sonic watch her fade away and smile.
Wait, should we have asked her to come with us to Namek?
I've managed to track his life source. He's back on Mobius.
Finally! No wonder my brother sleeps all the time. You mortals are just so slow!
Apologies, it appears Scourge was the only one who made it back. The others have either been imprisoned or killed in Universe 7.
They're still there? If the Omni King discovers that you mortals have messed with the universal law, then I'm finished! This is all your fault! Eggman Nega!
Lord Champa, my apologies. It can be fixed. I'll make it my personal duty to retrieve the rodents.
Phew! Now that's what I like to hear. I was worried that I have to head into Universe 7 myself. There's nothing of value for me there. Get in, grab those who were sent there by your invention, and bring them back to my palace!
As you wish, sir.
And leave the Scourge to me.
First off, they're gonna need a spaceship, and thankfully the spaceship that Kami used to get to Earth is still on Angel Island, so the group take that to use. Eggman, Bulma, and Dr. Briefs begin to do some more advanced work on it, with Bulma and her dad very wary of working with Eggman, but he is a genius, so his help makes the project go on faster. They all discuss who's going to take the trip to Namek, with Sonic, Goku, Krillin, and Amy being obvious people to go. Though they're gonna bring Eggman along as well, since nobody feels comfortable leaving him alone on the planet, just in case he decides to launch another Death Egg and roboticize the entire planet. Gohan tells his dad that he's going too, since he was far too weak to do anything to save Piccolo or Knuckles, so he needs to do this to avenge them. Goku definitely wants his son to go, as it'll be a learning experience for him. Chi-Chi obviously isn't okay with this, but after Gohan yells at her to make his stance clear, she reluctantly allows him to go. A lot of people are going, so Kami's ship isn't going to be big enough to carry everybody. Thankfully, Vegeta tells him that they can modify his ship to be bigger, that way it can carry the others. They still don't trust him very much, but thankfully with the tech from his, Nappa's, and Raditz' ship, they're able to create a bigger ship that can house everybody else. With all the modifications from Bulma, Eggman, and Dr. Briefs, both ships will get to Namek in only 6 days. This is it. They're going to Namek to bring everybody back. Goku, Gohan, Sonic, Vegeta, and Eggman will take Kami's ship, with Bulma, Amy, Krillin, Metal Sonic, and Metal Goku taking the Saiyan ship. The group all say that they'll meet each other over there and blast off into space. Princess Sally, Gamma and Beta, the Chaotix, Chotsu, and Tikal see them off, wishing them the best of luck on bringing everybody back. In Kami's ship, Bulma thankfully managed to add a gravity chamber, since Goku suggested it for training. Luckily, Eggman can just go in the other room to work on his robotics some more, leaving the group to train. Sonic doesn't want Vegeta to train with them as well, but he says that if he doesn't, then he'll be killed pretty easily if they run into Frieza or Black Doom out here. Right now, he's a traitor to the Frieza Empire, and if he dies, then they have no chance against Frieza whatsoever. Sonic reluctantly goes along with this, and the group begin their training. Goku makes sure to ask Sonic about the Dark form, as that seemed like a corrupted version of Super Sonic. Sonic says he has no idea what the form is, just that it is him getting really angry. Goku says while the approach is one of violence, thankfully now they know that Sonic still has some chaos energy inside of him, so if he's able to tap into it without any negativity, then maybe he can turn super without the emeralds. Sonic says that he doubts he's powerful enough to do that, but Goku keeps encouraging him, as if he can transform into the powerhouse that is Dark Sonic, then Super Sonic should be no sweat. The group begin their training together, with Vegeta trying to learn more about the Ikari form of Goku's, and if he can eventually use that himself. After a few days of intense gravity training, an alarm on the ship begins to go off. Eggman bursts out of his room, telling them that they're all under attack. Sonic asks if they can do anything, with Eggman saying it's him, so of course he added weapons to the ship. They all look out the window to see some black ship coming right towards them. Vegeta reassures them that it's not Frieza or Black Doom, but the ship does look familiar to him. Eggman still sees it as hostile though, so deploys a giant wrecking ball from under the ship and swings it right at the other one, with it just hitting and bouncing right off. Sonic asks if that's seriously all he added for weapons, and Eggman wondering how that didn't work. The black ship beams them in, with the group getting ready for a fight. Once the ship is docked, Sonic, Goku, and Vegeta burst out ready to fight. All they see in front of them though are two small figures in these weird futuristic clothes. Vegeta recognizes them instantly and laughs. He asks what these two Nocturnus clan members are doing interrupting them. The two remove their helmets, revealing themselves. Sonic and Goku are really surprised to see that they're echidnas. Shade and Julie Sue tell Vegeta that their scouters picked up his signature, and they beamed him in to get his help. Vegeta sticks his hand up preparing an energy blast. He says that unlike them, he doesn't work for Frieza anymore, so it was a mistake to bring him here. Shade yells that they don't work for Frieza either, he betrayed them. Vegeta lowers his hand asking what they mean. Julie Sue explains that the Nocturnus clan were traveling to go on a mission to retrieve a bounty for Lord Frieza, but it turns out that he led them right into the Black Arms. Frieza just sent them to die, and pretty much everybody did. They only managed to survive due to pure luck, and take the ship and escape. They are the only two surviving members of the Nocturnus clan, and the two last echidnas. They heard about the Saiyans rebelling against Frieza as well, so figured that they'd come to him for help in getting revenge. Revenge against Frieza? Vegeta says that he may be powerful, but he's still nothing to him, so they're wasting their time. Goku chimes in though, saying that they actually know of a few echidnas on Earth, and that they look just like Tikal. Shade and Julie Sue are surprised to hear the name Tikal, as they've heard from the stories that Tikal sacrificed herself to seal away the great demon king Piccolo. Sonic catches him up on what happened with Piccolo, and the two are amazed to hear that Piccolo was defeated and that Tikal is still alive. They would very much like to go to Earth to meet the legend, and maybe there, they can find a way to stay off of Frieza's radar. They don't have much time to talk though, as Eggman gets a detection of more life forms making their way towards the ship. They ask if it's just Bulma's crew coming to rescue them, but no, there are way more life forms on it, and it's not any kind of ship. Vegeta, Shade, and Julie Sue gasp. Not a ship? Then that must mean... Vegeta screams at the two that they're idiots stopping them here. Now the Black Arms are coming right at them. The comet crashes right into the ship, steering it way off course and flinging everybody around. Thankfully, Goku was able to protect Gohan, while Sonic got Eggman out of harm's way. Once they get a hold of their footing, the group all sit up and watch as a bunch of Black Arms make their way over to them. Goku looks at these guys and gets a slight feeling that he's seen these creatures before. He can't really put his finger on it though. Sonic powers up into his Kaioken, ready for a fight, as Shade says that, wait, these aren't all the Black Arms. Vegeta realizes it too, and wonders why it's such a small portion. This is when Black Death and his experiment, Eclipse the Darkling, step out from the Black Arms, saying that they're here to finish off what's rest of the Nocturnes. Vegeta is relieved Black Doom isn't here. It's only his little lackey. Black Death is surprised to see Vegeta, saying that he didn't expect to see a Saiyan today. This is even better then, as along with the Nocturnes, they'll finish off the Saiyans here today too. Vegeta says he'd like to see them try, but Julie Sue says he needs to be careful, as Eclipse is one of the ones who killed off a bunch of Nocturnes. He's a lot more powerful than he looks. Goku goes up to Vegeta, asking if these guys are really the ones who killed off the Saiyans. Vegeta says that they had a huge part. Frieza was ultimately the one who killed them all, but he wouldn't have right away if it wasn't for these guys. Goku keeps getting flashes in his head of a woman being stabbed through the stomach by one of these things, and while he doesn't know who she is, he gets a feeling of rage from it. Goku steps up, powering up into his Akari form. He tells Black Death that they're not going to be killing any more races today, not if he has anything to say about it. Black Death is surprised to see this kind of power from a Saiyan, and asks if Eclipse can handle it. Eclipse says that he's dealt with plenty of races who can transform. This one will be nothing. Shade asks where Black Doom is, with Black Death saying he has more important matters to attend to, as he's currently making his way to Namek to defeat the Namekians and the Saiyan's master, Frieza. Everybody's heart stops. They're going to Namek, and Frieza's on Namek? Oh god, they need to warn the others. Black Death says they won't be warning anybody and yells for the Black Arms to charge. Eclipse and the Black Arms rush the group, with them rushing right back towards them, ready to battle. Meanwhile, the other group lands on Namek. Once everybody steps out, they wonder where the others are, as they all should have landed at the same time. Maybe they just landed on the other side of the planet? The Metals try to detect any signs of their ship, but say that there is no sign of them on the planet, so they must have not arrived yet. This really worries them all, since what if the ship broke down up there and they need help? As they try and think of what to do, suddenly, two soldiers show up in some armor like what Vegeta and Nappa wore. The soldiers are kinda weirded out as these guys don't look like Namekians. They picked a bad day to come to the planet, so shoot at them. Amy is able to block the blast with her hammer, as Metal Sonic and Metal Goku rush in and blitz the two of them. With the soldiers killed in no time at all, Bulma asks who those guys were. Metal Sonic flies back over and says that his detector is picking up many life forms with strong powers. A lot feel very similar, so must be the Mechians, but there are many more that are way stronger and may relate back to those soldiers. Metal Goku says that he's picking up some sort of radio transmission from those energies, and he can hack into it to hear what they're saying. Bulma realizes these must be the scouters that the Saiyans had, so to be careful that they don't hear him. Metal Goku taps into the scouter's signal and the group listen in. They hear that Frieza, the Emperor of the Universe, is here and threatening the Namekians to give him their Dragon Ball. The elder Namekians refuse to hand them over, and then they hear so much screaming and death. The Namekians have been killed, and Frieza's henchmen, Zarbon and Dodoria, find a Dragon Ball and hand it over to their master. Frieza says that he's glad this is going so quickly, as with these 4 Dragon Balls, he only has 3 left until he can gain eternal life. Frieza and his soldiers detect the next village and fly off to destroy it as well. Our group is horrified over what they just heard, as with Frieza here, who's apparently leagues ahead of Vegeta, they have no chance of gaining all the balls. Metal Sonic says that this Frieza has an extremely high battle power, one he struggles to read over how large it is. Though, with his soldiers, they think they can handle them. They were both given upgrades since Vegeta, and even managed to get a hold of one of the vials that Tails had. The Laser Vial. With this, they may be able to use it to grab all of the Dragon Balls from the soldiers, but they need to use it wisely. They just need to get in close enough to them. Bulma says she'll wait in the ship for them to quickly make it back here, and the others can go on without her. Thankfully, since they're robots, they don't have any energy that can be detected, so the two pick up Krillin and Amy, carrying them over to where Frieza and his men are. Once they arrive, they see that the soldiers are already beginning to kill the Elder Namekians, trying to get information about the Dragon Balls. Amy is getting very riled up watching this, as she is sick of seeing all of this death. Krillin tells her to stand down for now, as they need to find an opening where they can swoop in and grab all the Dragon Balls. They all continue to watch, and the massacre happens just like in canon, with Mori destroying the scouters and Dodoria killing him and going after the kids. Once Cargo is killed, this is when Amy can't take it anymore. She spin dashes right into Dodoria, knocking him right away from the other child, Dende. Dodoria goes flying into a nearby house, as the others look on in confusion. Krillin curses that this is their moment, so try and make it count. Metal Goku rushes in and elbows Zarbon across the face, making him drop the Dragon Balls in his hands. Metal Sonic then bursts in with his super speed and snatches all 5 Dragon Balls from the ground and takes off. Frieza screams for the others to do something, but Krillin appears and launches a solar flare at the group to blind them all. As Frieza and his men grab at their eyes in pain, Metal Goku grabs Amy and Dende as him and Krillin fly off as fast as they can after Metal Sonic. Once they all can see again, Frieza demands Dodoria to go after them, or he'll kill him right now. Dodoria flies off after the group and catches up with them pretty fast. Krillin asks what they're gonna do, with Metal saying that they fight. Metal Goku tells Metal Sonic to return the Dragon Balls to Bulma. He'll handle this guy. Metal Goku throws Amy and Dende to Krillin as he stops short and nails Dodoria right in the gut. Metal Goku begins his beatdown on Dodoria, with him not being able to fight back. This weird looking machine is really giving him a run for his money. Dodoria tries to fire a mouth beam at the robot, but Metal Goku just fires an artificial Kamehameha right back and overpowers the mouth beam. The beam goes right into Dodoria's head and blows it right off. Dodoria's headless body falls into the Namekian Ocean as Metal Goku flies back off to join the others. Once Metal Goku makes it back to the spaceship, Bulma tells them that they can't just sit out here in the open like this, as they're pretty much sitting ducks. They need to hide out until they can go after the rest of the Dragon Balls. the group turn the ship into a capsule and fly off to a nearby cave to hide out in. Thankfully, with the Scouters gone, they won't be able to find them anymore, and hopefully with Metal Sonic's speed, he'll be able to go about and find the other Namekians before Frieza and his men do. Once they get all of the Dragon Balls, hopefully they can wish for their friends to be brought back to life as soon as possible, and then get off the planet before Frieza has a chance to find them. Dende tells the group that if there are 5 Dragon Balls here, then that must mean Frieza killed the Namekians in the other villages. There is only one village left besides the Grand Elder's hut, so they'll need to hurry and save the rest of his people. Amy says that she'll go off with Metal Sonic to find the Namekian villages, since, no offense, he's pretty scary looking, so he'll probably just scare the villagers more. The two go off with Metal Goku and Krillin left behind to guard the Dragon Balls. Frieza is infuriated that the Dragon Balls were taken right out from under his nose, so orders Zarbon and Apul to go and find them, and if they return without them, he'll kill them himself. The two fly off in fear, trying to find the rest of the Namekian villages. Thankfully, Metal and Amy manage to find one first, and with Amy's charm, she's able to warn the villagers of the impending threat of Frieza, and how he wants to steal their Dragon Ball. The villagers can sense that Amy has a pure heart, and trust her with their Dragon Ball, though they are exposed to Apul, who has flown by and found them. Metal Sonic detects him with his radar, and speeds up to him, and instantly belts him into the ground. Amy pounces on Apul, and her, along with the Namekian warriors of this village, tie him up to keep him as a prisoner, since they can't be having him report back to Frieza. The elder of the village hands over the Dragon Ball, and tells them they should go and find the Grand Elder, as he has the last Dragon Ball. And maybe with his help, he can power them up enough so they can defeat these alien invaders. Amy is very hesitant on a power-up, since she doesn't think any kind of power besides the Chaos Emeralds would defeat Frieza and his men, but they have to try. Metal Sonic and Amy go off next to the Grand Elder's hut, but while they're on their way, Metal Sonic is kicked into the ground by Zarbon. Amy yells out as Zarbon rushes after her. Amy deflects his attacks with her hammer, but she's not fast enough to block all of them, and she's eventually nailed right in the gut and sent flying. Metal Sonic rushes back into attack, with his speed proving more than enough for Zarbon. Metal zips all around him, slashing at him with his razor-sharp claws. Zarbon yells out in pain and isn't going to be humiliated any longer. Zarbon powers up, pushing Metal off of him as he transforms. With this power, Zarbon can unleash a faster flurry of strikes into Metal Sonic, with these being extremely powerful. Metal is beaten down on by Zarbon, with the hulking monster attempting to rip him into shreds. Amy tries to swing around to help him in any way that she can, but it's no use, and she's just getting in the way. This isn't the end though. As while this monster may be powerful, Metal has something up his sleeve. He takes out the Wisp Vial that Tails had, and crushes it to power himself into the Laser. With this insane boost, Metal's speed is amplified so many times more than it already was. So when he flies all around Zarbon, Zarbon can't even see him. Metal claws away at Zarbon once more, with Zarbon being beaten bloody on his knees in a matter of seconds due to the speed boost of Metal. With Zarbon near death's door, he tells them to stop attacking, as he can join up with them to defeat Frieza. Amy doesn't buy this one bit, and goes to grab some more rope to bind him up. But Metal slashes right at his throat, spurting blood everywhere. Amy yells out as Zarbon collapses dead to the ground. Amy tells Metal that there is no need to kill him, with Metal turning and saying he was programmed to kill. So, if he has a chance to kill the enemy, he's going to take it. If this directive wasn't changed to help her and her friends, then he would have already killed her too. This sends a chill down Amy's spine, as he grabs her and they continue to fly off towards the Grand Elder. Frieza sits back in his ship, seething that the others have been gone for so long. He finally has a chance to one-up Black Doom's newfound power with the Dragon Balls, but then these other aliens come in and ruin those chances? Not today. He's gonna call in the cavalry to fix this mess. He's gonna call in the Ginu force. Amy and Metal Sonic make their way to the Grand Elder, and meet with him and his protector, Nail. Amy is really surprised to see Nail, as he's the spitting image of Piccolo. Amy attempts to explain their situation, but to make things easier, the Grand Elder places his hand on Amy's head to read her mind. He is surprised to find that the son of Katas made his way to Earth and split himself into two. If he hadn't, then they would have been able to easily wipe out the Saiyan invaders, especially with that chaos power that they achieved. He removes his hand from her head and says that he can tell that she means no harm at all and her intentions are very pure. She even stepped in to save his child Dende, so that itself earns her this Dragon Ball. Grand Elder hands Amy the Dragon Ball, with her thanking him very much for this, and she promises not to let him down. He then says that to give her a better chance for the incoming fight, he'll awaken her hidden power. He places his hand on her head once more, and Amy has her potential unlocked by Guru. Amy explodes in energy, looking down and not even recognizing herself. She had this much power inside her? This is amazing! She floats up, ecstatic that she can now fly as well. She floats up to Guru to give him a kiss on the cheek, as she tells Metal it's time for them to head back to the others and revive their friends. Amy and Metal burst off from Guru's at super speed. Amy happy how strong she is and how fast she can fly now. It doesn't take very long for them to make it back, and Krillin is very impressed with how powerful that burst from Guru made her. She's even stronger than him now. Metal places the last 2 Dragon Balls down as they celebrate that they managed to get all 7 without being killed by Frieza. This is when everybody detects 6 large powers coming towards them at super speeds. Everybody gets into a fighting position as Bulma runs back inside the cave to hide. The Ginu Force lands right in front of the group, saying they're a brave bunch stealing these Dragon Balls from Lord Frieza, and that all of them are here to finish him off and give them back. Krillin asks who these guys are, as they all get into their poses. They are Birder, Raccoon, Jace, Guldo, Banyu, and Ginyu. Together, they are the Ginu Force, and they're here to take them down. Back on the Nocturne ship, the group are fighting off the Black Arms the best they can. Shade, Julie Sue, and Gohan fight off the normal Black Arms members, with Gohan making sure to stay close to Eggman so he doesn't get killed. Eggman tries his best to help out with some of the guns he packed for himself, but they're pretty useless against these very strong aliens. Goku and Sonic have gone after Eclipse, with him being an extremely powerful force to go against. He kinda reminds them of Shadow in a way, since he can somehow use Chaos Control to teleport all around them. They wonder how he can use such an ability without the emeralds, but have no time to think on that as they need to stay on their toes. Eclipse is able to handle a Kaioken Sonic pretty fine on his own, but with an Akari Goku coming in against him too, it's a pretty tough fight, no matter how skilled he is. Black Death goes against Vegeta, with the Prince attempting to erase him from existence. But Black Death is a very strong force to be reckoned with, and a little much for Vegeta to handle as he is. Vegeta has to resort to using his Wisp powers once more on Black Death, which actually surprises him, as he didn't expect his Saiyan to use those kind of powers on him. This makes the fight a little more even, and he is pushed back by the slightest amount more. No matter how many Chaos Beams Eclipse can fire at Sonic and Goku, it doesn't seem to be helping him, and Eclipse calls out to Black Death that he needs some help over here. Black Death says he's a little busy with Vegeta right now, so he's on his own. This isn't looking good for Eclipse, so he communicates with Black Death through the Hive Mind if he can call for backup. Black Death contemplates this, as if Eclipse is beaten, then Goku and Sonic will team up with Vegeta, and with all their powers, he'll surely be killed. So they're probably gonna need it. Black Death communicates with Black Doom, and says he's sorry for reaching out as he's on his way to Namek, but they have an issue here with the last of the Nocturnes and the Saiyans. Black Doom communicates back, asking why are there Saiyans there? They're all supposed to have been wiped out, besides the ones Frieza kept alive. Black Death says that the ones Frieza kept alive have rebelled against him, and they're here giving Eclipse a run for his money. Black Doom tells them that with their ultimate soldier here, he'll kill the last of the Saiyans and the Nocturnes to rid the universe of those scum. The ultimate weapon will be there in a second. Black Death smiles as he says that all of them are done for now. The ultimate weapon is on its way. Vegeta laughs, saying that these guys aren't as bad as they used to be. He's sure he can handle the ultimate weapon all by himself. Vegeta is then cut off as he gets a spear thrown right through his shoulder. He screams out in pain as he reverts back to normal. Goku and Sonic turn to see what's wrong, as 2 Chaos Blasts hit them dead on in the chest, faster than they could see. They go flying back as well, reverting back to normal. Gohan, Shade, and Julie Sue rush over to help them back up, as Eggman looks on in front of him in horror. No, it can't be. Goku and Sonic slowly sit up to see what happened, with them not being able to believe what they're seeing either. The ultimate weapon. No, it's Shadow. Ginyu tells the group that they'll be taking these Dragon Balls now, as with them, Lord Frieza can finally wish for immortality. He says that he'll take on the big robot guy, but the team says he took the strong guys last time, so to try and let them do something. Ginyu allows the others to play rock, paper, scissors for who gets to fight, with Banyu sighing that all these guys are idiots. Banyu is a Ginyu Force member who really didn't want to be a part of the Force since she really hates all the stupid poses that they do, but it was either leave them and get killed by the overwhelming new ultimate power of Black Doom, or stay here and have a better chance of survival. She decides to pick the lesser of two evils. She stays out of the rock paper scissors and says she'll go off with Ginyu to return to Dragon Balls to Frieza. It's decided that Guldo will get to fight with the two little ones, Krillin and Amy, while Recoome gets to go against the two robots. Our heroes aren't the biggest fans of these guys treating this like some sort of wrestling match, but are kinda happy that they only get to fight one at a time. Ginyu and Banyu fly off with the Dragon Balls, with Metal Sonic about to go after them. Amy tells him to stand down, that the Dragon Balls will be fine. Metal stands down as Amy and Krillin step up to fight with Guldo. The two power up and charge him. Since there's no Vegeta there to tell them about the Ginyu's weaknesses, they're unprepared for Guldo to just disappear in front of them. They wonder what exactly just happened, and Krillin is then blasted from behind. Amy turns to see what happened, but is then punched right in the face. Though she doesn't move at all, the punch didn't hurt. Guldo is shocked that nothing happened, and is then nailed right in the stomach by her hammer. Guldo is sent flying back, with Amy instantly rushing and going to hit him again. He disappears in front of her though, and she wonders how this guy is moving so fast. Metal Sonic announces that this guy isn't moving fast at all. He must be teleporting somehow. Amy doesn't really buy that either, as she's been teleported before by Chaos Control, and this feels different than that. For some reason, she can sense something psychic going on here. Every time this guy disappears, she's picking up on readings she hasn't really felt since when she would work on her tarot cards. She decides to test something. Amy can easily sense where Guldo is, so throws her hammer in his direction. Guldo panics and stops time again, moving out of the way to get to her. Once he runs over though, he's shocked to see that her eyes are following him. How is that possible? Amy shakes and then powers up, restoring the flow of time to normal. Guldo shakes, asking her how she was able to do that, with her saying that she's always been some sort of psychic, as using her tarot cards pushed her to be more spiritual. She's always known that she's had some sort of psychic ability, and she guesses that with her potential unlocked, she unlocked that part of herself. Now, she can handle any kind of psychic attack this guy can throw at her. Guldo isn't going to let his abilities be shown up like this, so uses his own telekinesis to freeze Amy in place. Amy is frozen solid, not able to move, as Guldo reaches to rip a tree out of the ground and throw it right at her. The tree is just about to hit her, until it stops right in place. Guldo is confused and tries to push it closer as hard as he can, but Amy extends her hand out to push it away from her. She honestly can't believe it herself how strong these abilities of hers are, and she throws the tree right back at Guldo. The tree smacks Guldo right across the head, and he goes flying, knocked unconscious. Krillin and the other Ginyu Force members can't believe how powerful Amy is. She shrugs it off, knowing that they're not out of the clear yet. Recoome steps up, saying she had a lot of interesting tricks up her sleeve, but it's nothing compared to the great Recoome. Jace and Birder tell him to lay off, as they'll take her after, and his opponents are the metal guys over there. Recoome agrees to back off of her, and walks over to the Metal Sonic and Metal Goku. Amy is offended that he isn't taking her seriously and goes to attack, but Metal Goku tells her to stand down. His battle power exceeds hers, so she would be easily defeated. The two of them can handle this buffoon easily. Recoome gets into his special fighting poses and rushes the two. Metal Sonic is able to burst right up to Recoome as fast as he can to smack him around. Recoome doesn't really feel the punches, but is just annoyed on how he can't see what's hitting him. He doesn't realize that Metal Sonic is just a distraction, and Metal Goku appears to elbow him right in the stomach. Recoome doubles over, as Metal Goku kicks him away. Recoome is able to recover himself and goes back into battle. The two clash blows, with the attack sending shockwaves through the valley. While Metal Goku is very powerful and can actually damage Recoome, it seems that he has the edge, as metal begins to get dense all over his body. Metal Sonic can't allow his brother to be defeated like this, and activates his Laser Wisp to blast Recoome away. The other Ginyus are surprised that little twerps like these have access to wisps. The Frieza Empire should be the only ones who have access to powers like that. Metal Sonic is now able to actually do some damage against Recoome alongside Metal Goku. Recoome is sent into the dirt, with the two robots believing that they're victorious. That is until Recoome bursts out of the ground, smiling. He says that he didn't expect lowlife like these to have wisps, which makes this a lot more entertaining. In fact, to make this more entertaining, he might as well show them his own. Recoome activates his Burst Wisp, overflowing in a fiery energy. Krillin stumbles back in fear, as it can't be. Nappa, with this power, is able to go up against Piccolo. How can Metal Sonic and Metal Goku fare against a power like this? Raccoon bursts towards them, and it seems to be no contest. With Metal Sonic's laser, he can avoid the hit super fast, but Metal Goku can't, and Raccoon punches him right through the chest. He is kicked away as Raccoon launches an eraser gun straight at the robot. Metal Sonic flies right towards it to save his brother, but it's too late, as Metal Goku is hit and blown up. The only remaining part of him is his head, which rolls towards the cave. Amy and Krillin yell out as the two of them rush in towards Raccoon, hoping to take him on as well. Raccoon is up for another game, and apologies to Jason Birder as they're not going to be getting their turn. Raccoon swings at Amy, who blocks with her hammer, but to force it a punch launches her back. Krillin throws his Destructo Disc straight towards him, but Raccoon launches a fiery blast towards the disc, completely disintegrating it. With his signature attack not working, Krillin fires a Kamehameha, but it hits Raccoon dead on and does nothing. Raccoon then appears in front of Krillin, and with one swift kick, Krillin goes flying back and crashes right into the ground, with all of his bones broken. Metal Sonic comes back in to try and do something, but the power increase at a burst is too much for him, even with his own Wisp power-up, and he is punched right out of his laser and towards the cave as well, not holding together very well. Amy swings her hammer to throw a tornado right at Raccoon, which actually works a little, as it almost blows the flames off of him. The tornado isn't powerful enough though, and just annoys him. Amy is able to block his strikes with her hammer, but not for long, as she too is knocked aside. Raccoon stands over her, ready to stomp right on her head, until he is kicked right inside of his head. Nail lands and swings around for a roundhouse kick across the head. Nail helps Amy up, saying he's risking a lot by being here to help them, but if they die, then their planet dies too, and he won't allow that to happen. Thankfully, the Grand Elder's in direct communication with Nail telepathically, so he'll alert him if anything else is wrong. Raccoon sits up, telling Nail that was a good shot, and he didn't expect a Namekian to be that powerful. Nail goes back into attack, but Raccoon fires yet another eraser gun, point blank. Nail throws Amy out of the way, and takes the full blunt of the attack. Amy yells out no, and throws her hammer right at Raccoon's mouth. The hammer hits the side of his face, throwing him off enough to stop the attack. Nail lays helpless on the ground with half of his body gone. It's a horrific sight, and one that distracts Amy enough for Raccoon to kick her away as well. Raccoon lifts up Nail's body, saying that he may be powerful, but not durable. Nail then opens his eyes and fires his laser eyes right through Raccoon's chest. He drops Nail as he reels in pain over the two holes in his chest. Nail uses his regeneration to regrow the other half of his body, and then fires his Mystic Flasher attack right at Raccoon, knocking him down, badly injured. Nail then flies above him and stomps directly on his chest as hard as he can, crushing Raccoon's ribs and pretty much killing him. Jason Birder look on wondering how Raccoon could be taken out by just a little Namekian. He shouldn't have let his guard down like that. It's no matter the two of them though, as it's the two of them against a very worn down Namekian and Hedgehog. Nail tells Amy that they're right. He's exhausted after dealing with Raccoon, so he's not going to be of much help now. Right as Jason Birder are going to get revenge for their fallen comrade, their Scourges go off, picking up a large power. Guru then communicates with Nail that there are more alien threats making their way to the planet now. Amy can sense it too. The power feels gigantic. Jason Birder know exactly who it is and tell the others that this isn't the end, and they'll come back for them later. The two fly off, with Nail and Amy worried that these two were so scared by these powers. Krillin walks up next to them, saying he can sense it too. Amy hugs Krillin, saying she thought he was dead. How is he on his feet? Krillin points to Dende, saying Little Green here picked him back up. Nail smiles, happy that Dende is here. With his healing abilities, they may have a fighting chance against the alien invaders now. Dende smiles, saying he's happy that Nail showed up and is happy he can help. Dende heals Nail and Amy up, with Amy surprised on how great she feels now, since she's fully back to normal. Nail tells the others that they need to come with him to the Grand Elder, as if these other invaders are as bad as Guru says, they need to go with him so they can protect him, since if he dies, then the Dragon Balls would go as well. Bulma says that they can go off, and she can try and work on repairing Metal Sonic and Metal Goku the best that she can. Eggman gave her some parts to use in case they broke down out here, so hopefully they can be repaired. Krillin and Amy say goodbye to them as they fly off with Nail back to the Grand Elder, really worried on what is coming. Jason Birder make it back to Frieza's ship, where they find Frieza, Ginu, and Banyu trying to find a way to use the Dragon Balls. Jason Birder tell the group that they can detect the Black Arms making their way to Namek. The others can't believe it, with Frieza cursing that they can't use the Dragon Balls for some reason, and they need to find a way to activate them so he can defeat that troublesome Black Doom and his new ultimate life form. Jason and Birdo say there was a Namekian that joined the fight with the group they took the Dragon Balls from, so he might know how to activate them. Perfect, Frieza thinks, as now all hope isn't lost. Frieza tells the Ginus to hold off the Black Arms long enough for him to activate these Dragon Balls, and once he does, they'll be nothing to his might. Frieza pinpoints Nail on his scouter to go after him. The Ginus fly over to see the Black Comet hovering in the air, and countless Black Arms flooding out of it. Ginu tells his men that they've had to fight these guys before, so they can do it again. They'll do their best to hold them off for Lord Frieza, so to activate their powers. Jace unleashes his Drill Wisp, as Birder activates the Lightning Wisp. Banyu activates her Crimson Eagle, with Ginyu bursting into his own Frenzy. The Ginyu force all get into their poses and rush towards the Black Arms. Shadow the Hedgehog walks over to Eclipse, asking if he's okay. Eclipse tells Shadow that he's really happy to see him, as these guys were a lot stronger than he thought. Shadow eyes down Sonic and Goku. For some reason, deep inside himself, he feels a sense of familiarity, but can't put his finger on it. Sonic goes up to Shadow, saying he can't believe it's him. He looked for him for years, and all this time he was up here in space. He's really happy to see him again. Sonic goes in for a fist bump, with Shadow punching him away. Sonic asks what's the matter with him. He thought he'd change on the Ark. He saved them all from its destruction, so why is he back to being a jerk? Shadow genuinely has no idea what this fake Hedgehog is talking about. He's never met him before in his life, so to stop confusing him, Goku appears in front of him, eyeing him down. Could it be? Goku lunges in to attack, with Shadow blocking the blow really easily. Goku quickly sneaks his hand on top of Shadow's head and looks into his mind. He sees multiple images of a dazed and confused Shadow floating out in space, surrounded by the Chaos Emeralds, and him being picked up by Black Doom. Black Doom connected him to the Black Arm's hive mind somehow, and with the Chaos Emeralds in his hands, they've gone on to destroy so much life throughout the universe. Shadow punches Goku away, telling him not to do that again. Goku wonders how is it possible that Shadow can be working for these guys? Wasn't he just an android? He's not an alien. Eggman speaks up, saying he never expected Shadow to be related to these Black Arms. Sonic asks him what he means, with Eggman telling him that he did some research on the ultimate life form after the incident on the Space Colony Ark. He found out that his grandfather didn't work alone up there on Shadow, and that he had some help from a malicious alien life form. He didn't know the alien's name, but in his grandfather's notes, he said that this alien was extremely dangerous, but was able to provide Shadow with his DNA to help him be completed. Meaning in a way, Shadow is a member of the Black Arms. Black Death is surprised that these Earthlings know Shadow, and says that'll make this so much more interesting. They need to find a way to bring Shadow back to them, but Shadow isn't having it. He only listens to Black Death and the Black Arms now. Goku and Sonic stand together and transform, saying they're a lot stronger than the last time they fought against him. Together, they can return his memories and bring him back. Shadow summons his Chaos Energy, ready to exterminate a few more life forms for the Black Arms to feed off of. Goku and Sonic appear right in front of Shadow, ready to bring him back. Gohan goes over to Vegeta and gives him a Senzu Bean, closing up the hole in his chest and giving him a pretty sizable Zenkai. Vegeta pushes Gohan away and sees Kakarot and Sonic fighting against this other Hedgehog, the one who attacked him. Vegeta powers up, ready to get revenge, until Black Death and Eclipse stand in his way, saying they're going to be finishing him off. The rage that Vegeta is feeling right now is enormous. First, he has to resort to his Wisp powers again to stand a chance against Black Doom's lackey. Then he gets taken down in one blow by another furry, and finally he gets saved by Kakarot's brat of all people. He isn't going to stand for this humiliation anymore, and powers up. Vegeta's screams echo throughout the Nocturne ship, with Eclipse and Black Death being blown back by this energy. Vegeta's form changes, as he has achieved, just as Kakarot has, the Akari transformation. Goku, Sonic, and Shadow have their fight, with Shadow teleporting all around them and knocking them right into each other. Shadow is much more powerful than he was before, and doesn't seem to be putting much effort into this fight at all. He's able to be even faster than a Kaioken Sonic, which he didn't think was even possible. The two get beaten around with the ship crumbling away due to all of the immense fights taking place. Thankfully, Gohan, Shade, and Julie Su manage to take out the remaining Black Arm soldiers, but since Vegeta is going toe-to-toe with Black Death and Eclipse, with Sonic and Goku going for Shadow, the ship isn't going to handle much more of this. The emergency alarms begin to blare that the ship's structural integrity is failing, and the crew needs to evacuate. Sonic speeds away from Shadow to the others, telling them they need to get into their ship and get out of here before it's too late. Gohan says that they can't just leave him here, they'll die in the ship. Sonic tells Gohan that it's okay, and him and his dad have a plan to stay alive. None of them are going to be able to face these remaining Black Arms aliens, so need to get to Namek with the others to do what they came to do. Gohan tries to fight back, saying he's coming with them, but Eggman and the two Echidnas drag him inside their ship as Eggman restarts it so they can leave. Sonic watches as the ship blasts off towards Namek and feels better knowing that they're going off, where hopefully it's safer than it is here. While Goku was holding off Shadow, he wasn't able to do very well on his own at all. Shadow continued to Chaos Control away from all of his attacks, and appeared behind him to slash at him with a Chaos Spear. Goku is thankfully fast enough to avoid being impaled, but not enough to get away unscathed. Shadow only has a look of battle in his eyes, a look to eliminate the enemy, and do what is best for his people. Goku knows that the Shadow they know is in there somewhere, but it'll be impossible to reason with him like this. Sonic rushes Shadow from behind, finally getting a good blow in there. Not good enough though, as Shadow instantly turns back around and elbows Sonic into the ground. Now the ship is finally tearing apart. Black Death and Eclipse are able to lead Vegeta onto the Black Comet to save themselves, with Sonic grabbing Goku and flying towards the comet as well. The two make it on just in time as the Nocturne ship crumbles and explodes. The group look out for Shadow, since he was still on the ship, but Shadow is able to Chaos Control away and appeared in front of Goku to punch him right in the face. With the two being beaten down to the dirt, Goku telepathically communicates with Sonic, saying that he has a plan to try and get Shadow back in control of himself. If they're able to take out Black Death, who seems to be the leader here, maybe that will free Shadow. Sonic thinks it's worth a shot, but they can't fight one-for-one with Shadow for long, or else he'll kill them. Goku says they're not going to be fighting one-on-one, since he told somebody else to plan already. Suddenly, a Gallic gun fires right past them and into Shadow. Shadow catches the blast with Vegeta powering through his own attack and appears out of it to punch Shadow away. With this distraction, Goku barrels into Eclipse, knocking him away from Black Death. Goku then kicks Black Death directly into the ground and launches a point-blank Kamehameha at the monster to erase him completely. Shadow and Eclipse both scream out no and clutch their heads in pain. Goku thinks it's working, and then with Black Death's, death, then they're getting out of his control. Eclipse falls over unconscious, with Shadow just grabbing his head and grunting on the ground. Goku walks over to Shadow, telling him it's okay now and he can be free. Suddenly, Goku gasps as he is stabbed right in the chest by one of Shadow's Chaos Spears. Vegeta yells and rushes Shadow, punching him right off of Kakarot. Goku reverts back to his base and falls to the ground. Sonic speeds over to catch him and watches as Goku coughs up blood, wondering how that didn't work. Sonic begins to shake in anger once again. After all this time, they finally get to see Shadow, and he's like, "This? Why is everything going wrong?" He's not gonna let it go on like this any longer. Sonic's anger envelops him once more, with Sonic blasting into Dark Sonic. Dark Sonic pushes Vegeta aside and nails Shadow right in the gut. Shadow spits up blood as Dark Sonic begins to attack him with a flurry of blows. Vegeta watches worried as he knows the kind of power that Dark Sonic has. He's gonna try not to get on his bad side this time. Vegeta makes his way back over to Eclipse and sticks his hand out ready to blow him away as well. Goku grabs onto him though, telling him to stop. Vegeta yanks himself out of his grasp, asking him how he's standing again. Goku says he saved a few senzu beans for himself, so he's all set and feeling stronger than ever. They can't kill this one, since if he was connected to the same hive mind, then he'd probably be dead. He was connected enough for it to hurt him, but he's probably as much of a victim as Shadow is. They can't kill him. Vegeta scoffs at Kakarot's naivety as he spared that Shadow over there, and look how that turned out for him. Goku is eventually able to get him away from Eclipse, and the two watch as Dark Sonic tears into Shadow. The two Hedgehogs Chaos Control all around, attempting to strike down each other. Dark Sonic is the more ruthless fighter, dealing a lot of deadly strikes, with Shadow keeping up somehow and trying to fight back some more. It's clear Shadow isn't going to survive this for very long, until he removes his inhibitor rings and bursts into a red glow that looks similar to the Kaioken. Shadow unleashes his full power onto Dark Sonic, making the fight a lot more even. The two bounce all around each other, landing a lot of good strikes that hurt the other. Even though they seem pretty evenly matched, it's clear that Shadow can't keep it up like this forever. With all of his chaos power leaking out, he's going to wear himself down to nothing. Shadow realizes this and unleashes a large chaos blast to catch Dark Sonic in to push him away. This blast begins to overtake the comet, with Goku grabbing Eclipse and having to fly away with Vegeta. Once the dust settles, Shadow puts his inhibitor rings back on, with Dark Sonic flying back over, a little injured but still ready to beat down on him. Shadow says he doesn't like to use these without Black Doom's orders, but it seems he has no choice now. Dark Sonic doesn't know what he means until all 7 of the Chaos Emeralds appear and swirl all around Shadow until they fly into him, and Shadow explodes in a golden light. Dark Sonic looks on as Shadow has transformed into Super Shadow. A much more powerful Super Shadow compared to last time. Super Shadow asks Dark Sonic if he's ready for round 2. Amy, Krillin, Dende, and Nail stop at the Grand Elder's hut, with them all sensing gigantic energies. It seems that other threats have shown up, and those Ginus are using the Wisps to battle them. On top of that, it seems Frieza is making his way here. Amy and Krillin are kind of freaking out since they definitely can't handle Frieza the way they are now. Guru indeed confirms that this may be the end of Namek. The alien invaders known as the Black Arms have arrived on the planet, and with Frieza coming here, it seems he doesn't have much time left. He puts his hand on Krillin's head and unlocks his hidden potential, giving him a pretty sizable boost. He also gives Dende a boost too, and says that Nail will distract Frieza the best he can, and that these 3 should go off back to Frieza's ship and take the Dragon Balls back, since the others are distracted. With this, they can revive their friends and keep the Dragon Balls out of everybody's hands. The 3 wish them all luck and promise that they'll try their hardest. They all lower their ki so Frieza can't detect them, and once he arrives at the Grand Elders, Nail is able to lure him off to fight. With that, the 3 then burst back off towards the battle. The Ginyu force burst around attempting to kill the Black Arms surrounding them. Thankfully, they are much more powerful than most of the soldiers with their Wisp powers. Birder is able to fly around with his super speedy lightning form and electrocute a bunch of them out of existence. Jace is able to drill through countless soldiers, with Banyu scooping up a bunch with her wings and throwing them straight at Ginyu, with him attacking them with his frenzy. Black Doom watches from above, realizing that with these Wisps, the Ginyu force can easily keep this up and wipe out all the Black Arms. He needs to deploy more of his troops. Black Doom sends down the Black Bulls to attack, with them knocking Banyu right out of the air. Jace comes in to save her by drilling through one of them, but he is then bombarded by plenty more Black Bulls from all around. Their fire breath begins to burn him and knocks him out of his Wisp form. Birder rushes in and electrocutes the remaining Black Bulls all around him, but it's too late. Jace has been burned to a crisp. Birder explodes in rage due to the death of his best friend, and rushes all around to eliminate the Black Bulls as fast as he can. Ginyu and Banyu hold off the other Black Arm soldiers as Birder goes after the Black Bulls. But Ginyu doesn't know how much longer he can hold out on his own. This is when Amy, Krillin, and Dende arrive to see the carnage all around them. The Ginyus are holding off the Black Arms as best as they can, but there seems to be too many of them. Ginyu then unleashes his Spike Wisp and stabs all the soldiers all around, as he then moves in to help Birder against the Black Bulls. Banyu is left alone to handle the other soldiers, and while she is able to do a bit on her own, the soldiers pile towards her in too many hordes, eventually knocking her out of her Wisp form. Right as she is about to be overrun, a giant blast knocks them away, with Shade and Julie Sue appearing around her, shooting the others away. Amy and Krillin are shocked to see other echidnas here, and more shocked to see Gohan flying right alongside them and battling the Black Arms as well. Banyu says it's about time they showed up, and asks where the rest of the Nocturnes are. Shade says that she's looking at the last ones, no thanks to these guys. Thankfully, with Shade, Julie Sue, and Gohan helping the Ginyus, the soldiers are pretty much all defeated. This hurts Black Doom, as on top of his soldiers pretty much dying off, he can also feel a connection severed with the passing of Black Death. This is not a good day. And now he's finally going to be stepping in. He may not have Shadow here with him, but he'll be more than enough for these guys. Black Doom flies down from the Black Comet, landing in front of everybody. The Ginyus huddle together and thank the Nocturnes and the little guy for his assistance. Gohan smiles, as these guys seem pretty cool. Black Doom says the Ginyus made a fatal mistake not running away from Frieza, as this is where they meet their doom. Ginu steps up, saying the Ginyus will never fall to the likes of him, and they'll defeat him for the Frieza Empire. The Ginyus get into their poses, with Black Doom irritated and attacking them. This is just what Ginu wanted, however, and launches his Change Beam straight at Black Doom. Black Doom expected this, and the Black Eye flies out and takes a Change Blast head on. The Black Eye then looks around confused and looks up at Black Doom in horror. Black Doom crushes the eye in his hand as Ginu, or now the Black Eye in Ginu's body, walks over to Black Doom ready to fight for him. The others curse as Gohan asks what just happened. Julie Su tells him that Ginu's special move was changing bodies, but he just changed bodies with the Black Eye, and now he's dead. The Black Eye's in Ginu's body now, and somebody they'll have to fight. Ginu and Black Doom rush towards the others, with Burter and Banyu activating their Wisp powers again to try and match Black Doom. Banyu is able to smack him in the face with one of her wings, while Burter blasts him with some lightning. Ginu attacks the others, with Julie Su, Shade, and Gohan doing a pretty good job holding him off. Thankfully, the Black Eye doesn't know how to control Ginu's body, so it isn't doing a very good job at fighting. Gohan is able to smack Ginu right into the other two, with them blasting all around him. Ginu falls to the ground as Shade pounces right on top of him and unleashes a blast point blank, killing him. They turn to go and help the others, but look in horror as Black Doom is holding the lifeless bodies of Banyu and Burter in his hands, and throws them off to the side. He doesn't have a single scratch on him. He wasn't kidding about his power. He rushes after them until he is suddenly stopped in place. Amy does her best to use her telekinesis to hold him off, but he's breaking out fast. Krillin jumps in front of him and unleashes a solar flare to blind him. Black Doom roars in pain as Krillin tells the others to run. The group quickly get out of there and fly as fast as they can behind some mountains. Gohan gives Amy and Krillin a hug, happy to see them. Julie Su tells him to be quiet, as he's definitely listening for them. Black Doom flies around, demanding the group come out where he can see them, or he'll destroy this whole area around them. The Nocturnes just think he's bluffing, but no. Black Doom creates a very powerful blast in his hands, prepared to throw it right down. They all gasp and are about to reveal themselves, until a singular beam hits the blast, exploding it in Black Doom's hands. Black Doom tumbles back and regains himself to see who fired. Frieza flies down in front of Doom, saying he's not so tough without the ultimate life form having his back, is he? Well, now it's finally time for them to decide who truly is the ruler of this universe. Super Shadow's energy shakes the entire Black Comet. Vegeta is stunned, actually seeing this power in the flesh. He had heard of the insane power of the ultimate life form, but he never expected it to be like this. How did he get this much power? Goku points out the Chaos Emeralds, saying they're giving him all of this energy. They've actually been searching for them for years after Shadow disappeared, and it seems they're blasted out to space with him, and have been with the Black Arms all this time. Vegeta's whole reason for coming to Earth in the first place was to get the Chaos Emeralds, and it turns out that Shadow had them the whole time. The only shot they had is wasted now. It'll be impossible to defeat him. Vegeta isn't exactly wrong, as Super Shadow's power is way beyond that of Dark Sonic. Dark Sonic is being beaten around hard by Super Shadow. The raw Chaos energy is draining him hard, and while he can try and sneak in a few good blows in there, it doesn't do much of anything. Dark Sonic may be powerful, but he is still nothing to the might of the Chaos Emeralds, and Shadow's had more than enough time to learn more about their power and use more and more of it as his own. Goku says he can't keep watching this anymore, and powers back into his Akari form to help. Vegeta grabs him by the arm, telling him not to be an idiot. He couldn't even handle Shadow without the Chaos Emeralds. How can he fare against this? Goku pushes Vegeta off, saying he's not just going to sit here and watch his friend be killed. He may be a Saiyan, but he's not like him, just brushing off death like it's nothing. Goku launches into the fight, punching Shadow right in the face, with it doing nothing. Shadow flicks Goku away like he's nothing, and then begins to wail on him. He says that Black Doom has wanted the Saiyans gone for years, and today he's finally going to eradicate them for his master. Dark Sonic comes back in to push Shadow off, but it's no use. Shadow sticks his hand right in Dark Sonic's face and launches a Chaos Blast right at him to blow him away. Dark Sonic flies back, crashing into the dirt, reverting back to normal. Super Shadow then tosses Goku aside and sticks his hands out towards Sonic once more. This Hedgehog has been a pain in the side for long enough now, and he's going to end it here once and for all. Before he has a chance to blow Sonic away, Black Doom contacts Shadow through the Hive Mind. Shadow listens in as Black Doom explains to him the situation and that he needs his help. Earlier, Frieza and Black Doom had begun their battle for Emperor of the Universe. The two clashed, with Frieza's scouter shattering after picking up Black Doom's immense power. Black Doom flies back, saying that it seems Frieza hasn't improved at all since their last duel. While he's been sitting in his little hover chair, he's been off conquering hundreds of worlds. He's much stronger than he is now. Frieza floats down, saying that, indeed, he has become much stronger, but he has never had a need to train in his life, since he can get stronger with a snap of his fingers. Black Doom tells him he's bluffing and extends his arm out to blow Frieza away. Frieza then explodes in energy and begins to morph. Everybody watches in horror as Frieza grows gigantic in size, as he transforms into his second form. Black Doom admits he had no idea that the Frost Demons were capable of such transformations. Frieza flies back up to Doom and says that miscalculation may cost him his life. If there were any scouters capable of measuring his power, he's sure it would read over 1 million. Frieza goes back into clash with Doom as the remaining Chaos Z fighters fly off far away from the fight. Shade and Julie Sue explain that these two are the most powerful beings in the universe, so they have absolutely no chance here whatsoever. They need to get as far away as they can. Thankfully, Krillin and Amy managed to dig up all the Dragon Balls, so now they can use them for their own gain to keep them out of the two tyrants' hands. Once they've gotten far enough away, they place down all the Dragon Balls. Dende steps up and in the Namekian language summons the true dragon god, Porunga. The Namekian sky goes dark, with Frieza and Black Doom stopping their battle, wondering what is going on. Porunga tells the group that he is Porunga, the dragon god of dreams, and he will grant any 3 wishes within his power. Amy and Krillin nearly faint. 3? Dende confirms it, surprised that their dragon could only grant 1. The Nocturnes are happy too, as maybe this way they can revive their clan as well. First, they ask for all of their friends killed by the Saiyans to be brought back to life. Porunga states that that wish cannot be granted, as he can only revive 1 person at a time. Now they all really almost faint. Only 1 at a time? How are they going to be able to choose? Dende says they need to hurry now, before Frieza or Black Doom find them. As they try to think, Gohan hears a voice in his head. He recognizes it instantly and wonders how it can be. It's Piccolo! Piccolo speaks to Gohan through King Kai, telling him that after he died, that he made his way to King Kai's planet, where Goku and Sonic trained to fight the Saiyans. Gohan, Amy, and Krillin are happy to hear that he's still around, and that he wasn't completely destroyed as his father was after he was defeated. Amy then asks Piccolo if the others are there as well. Piccolo smiles and turns to look at the others. Yamcha, Tien, Knuckles, and Tails are standing there, smiling. They've all been here on King Kai's planet training with him, getting stronger for when they get revived. Piccolo then tells them that they need to use the first wish on Porunga to revive him. As with him revived, then Kami will be revived too, meaning their Dragon Balls will be brought back so they can revive the others. Then they need to bring him to Namek, since he's gotten a lot stronger and can help them against Frieza and Black Doom. Gohan tells Piccolo he's got it, and explains the wishes to Dende. Dende quickly speaks the wishes to Porunga, with Piccolo being revived and teleported off of King Kai's planet right to Namek. Back on Earth, Kami appears right in front of the Master Emerald. Mr. Popo and Tikal can't believe it, and with tears in their eyes, rush over to hug him. Kami hugs them back and looks up, saying that Piccolo does think quickly. On Namek, the group look around for Piccolo, but Dende apologizes as he didn't specify where in Namek he could show up. Stupidly. Now they need to make the third wish quickly, but they are too late. A blast flies out, hitting Purunga head on and destroying him. The group all yell out as the Dragon Balls turn to stone in front of them. Black Doom flies over, saying now nobody has a chance to use this kind of power. Frieza rushes in screaming no, as he elbows Black Doom in the face to send him flying. Frieza looks down on the group, seething in anger. They've wasted his wish of immortality. For that, they're going to pay. Frieza fires an energy beam right down at the group, with it suddenly being deflected right back at him. Frieza dodges out of the way, looking down wondering how they knocked it back. Piccolo has arrived, and with his own chaos control, was able to get to them in no time to save them. Gohan hugs Piccolo, very happy to see him after so long. Dende can't believe the similarities between him and Nail. Piccolo turns to Dende, saying that the dragon brought him right in front of Nail, who was dying on the ground after being brutalized by Frieza. To save his life, the two fused into one, and it's thanks to Dende for sending him there. Piccolo flies up to Frieza, glaring daggers at him. He killed so many of his people. All of the Namekians, even the Grand Elder, have died because of him. He's going to avenge his people. Piccolo explodes in energy, blowing Frieza back. Piccolo transforms into the new and improved Chaos Piccolo. Black Doom then flies up next to the two, surprised at a Namekian being this powerful. He seems to be imbued with some sort of chaos energy, similar to his own ultimate life form. If he'd like, they can team up. Piccolo tells him not in a million years, as his men are responsible for killing his brother's family. He'll never forgive him for that. With that, the three stare at each other and all rush in to attack. The three of them are beating hard on each other, with Piccolo being the most powerful out of all of them. He is able to chaos control around, extending his water arms to push the two tyrants into each other and slam them into the ground. He launches multiple chaos beams right down at the two, with Black Doom able to avoid most of them, but Frieza really getting the brunt of all the damage. Frieza can't be played around like this, and explodes in even more power, transforming into his third form. He fires a death beam right through Piccolo's chest, with him surprised at the sudden increase in power. Frieza appears behind Piccolo and knocks him away as he begins to fire multiple death beams right at Black Doom. Frieza's speed is immense, with him not being able to avoid all of the attacks. Piccolo stares up to watch Frieza firing away at Black Doom. He could go up there and help him, but hey, if he ends up killing him, that's one less opponent to fight. Black Doom knows he is close to death, so reaches out into the hive mind to contact Shadow. After having all the information given to him, Shadow stops attacking the group and flies up into the air, bidding them all farewell. Goku flies up to go and stop him, but Shadow chaos controls away. Vegeta asks where he's gone off to, with Goku sensing around wondering where he is. After sensing as far as he can, he finds him. Goku shudders. No, he's on Namek. Super Shadow appears right in front of Frieza and kicks him right in the face. Frieza is shocked at the power in that blow. So, this is the ultimate life form. Piccolo and the others can't believe what they're seeing. Shadow! It can't be! Gohan, Shade, and Drilly Sue tell Amy, Krillin, and Piccolo that this isn't the Shadow they know. He's under the control of Black Doom, and he was fighting Goku, Sonic, and Vegeta before they were sent here. Gohan is scared, as if Shadow is here, then where is his dad and Sonic? Piccolo appears in front of Shadow, telling him to stop this. He knows the only interaction that they had was an aggressive one, but he knows that wasn't the real him, and he knows what he's gone through. He was treated as a tool of destruction as well, but they can help him. Super Shadow says he's sick of these people trying to tell him who he is. He knows who he is. He's Shadow the Hedgehog, the ultimate weapon of Black Doom. Shadow rushes into battle Chaos Piccolo, the two clashing blows. Piccolo is shocked at the amount of power that Super Shadow has, as even with all the training he did with King Kai and the fusion with Nail, he's nowhere near this level of strength. Black Doom laughs, saying that he's won. The Frieza Empire, the Saiyan race, and the Namekians will all fall today. Frieza appears behind him, ready to shut him up, until Shadow Chaos controls over to him to block the attack and smack Frieza away, as he then teleports back to Piccolo to resume the fight with him. If you can call it a fight, since Piccolo is being beaten around pretty hard. Gohan isn't going to stand by all this time as Piccolo is beaten and erupts in rage toward Shadow. Gohan nails Shadow right across the face, which somehow stings a little. Gohan begins to unleash his anger on the Golden Hedgehog, knocking him around and then sending him straight towards the ground with a Masenko. The beam almost sends Shadow directly into the planet, but he grabs onto it and throws it right back. Piccolo is able to grab Gohan and Chaos Control out of the way just in time. Gohan has used up his strength though, and Shadow is ready to go and get revenge. Frieza steps in front of him, however. He says he's not going to get any more kills stolen from him by Black Doom and his lackeys. He'll show him that the real Ultimate Life Form is right here. Frieza powers up once again, and to everybody's surprise, his energy erupts towards that of Shadow's. Shadow can't believe it either, as there's no way somebody could be this powerful without Chaos Emeralds. Frieza bursts into his final form, and fires a death beam right at his head. Shadow is hit right between the eyes and stumbles back, grabbing his head. That was actually painful. Shadow swings at Frieza, with the Tyrant dodging, then nailing him right in the gut. Shadow spits up blood as he is then elbowed in the face. Frieza begins his counterattack against Shadow, with Gohan and Piccolo coming in to try and help him. Shadow blasts them away, however, telling them to back off. Dende quickly goes over to heal them, not understanding why their friend is doing this to them. The two thank Dende, as Piccolo says the super form has always worked before. He's never really seen anything overcome its power so greatly until now. Frieza is way more dangerous than Black Doom, and if he kills Shadow, then there's nothing they'll be able to do. Who will be able to defeat Frieza? Goku can sense the battle going on from afar, and is surprised that Shadow is being beaten by an even higher power. If they don't get over there, then everybody is going to die. Sonic apologizes that he couldn't get Shadow back, and without getting angry enough, he can't access the Dark form to use Chaos Control. Vegeta knows the Black Comet could get them over there, but he has no idea how to make it move, and even if they did, there's no way they could get there in time with it. This is when Eclipse tells them he can get them there. They all turn and get ready to fight again, but he says he's not going to try anything. They saved him. He was a creation of Black Death's, an experiment meant to replace Shadow once they thought they lost him. He was a failure in everybody's eyes for not being as powerful and not a true threat. He desperately wanted to break free from them, but his mental connection to Black Death prevented him from truly having free will. With his death by Goku's hands, he finally has that, so he wants to help them. Vegeta doubts he wants to, since he probably just wants to go and join with Black Doom to take over Namek. Eclipse tells him that if he does go, it'll cost him the rest of his Chaos energy, and he'll die. So no, he's truly doing this to help. He knows that they can break Shadow free of the Hive Mind as well, and stop the reign of the Black Arms for good. Sonic doesn't want him to sacrifice his life, but he says it's the only way. Goku goes up to him and thanks him for trying to help them. If he really will die, then they'll be sure to bring him back with the Dragon Balls, so he can live a full life. Eclipse doesn't know if that will actually work, but thanks them. Goku, Sonic, and Vegeta all stand by Eclipse as he powers up to his max strength and screams out Chaos Control. The three of them are then teleported right to Namek and look around for Eclipse, but he's gone, reduced to nothingness. The others look on to see the three of them all alive. Gohan goes over to hug his father, with Amy basically jumping on top of Sonic. Sonic actually hugs her back this time, happy she's alive as well. Goku is happy to see Piccolo back and hugs him, thankful he gets to see his brother again. Piccolo is happy and says that they all look awful, but Dende can help them all. Dende goes over and heals all three of them, with Goku and Vegeta getting really big Zenkais due to all of the damage Shadow gave them. Speaking of Shadow, they turn to see how much trouble he's having against Frieza. Goku says they need to help him, with Vegeta telling him to stand down. He's going to deal with Frieza on his own. Vegeta erupts into his Akari form, blasting towards Frieza. Frieza is able to move his tail to block the punch, and smiles. Mr. Vegeta, look how strong he's gotten now. Vegeta isn't going to be mocked by Frieza any longer, and he says that he's become the thing Frieza fears most, the Super Saiyan. Vegeta fires a Gallic gun to push him off his Shadow, and the two begin their fight. Black Doom flies down to Shadow, saying he's very disappointed in him for losing to Frieza of all people. Shadow goes to retort, but Black Doom lifts his hands up, pulling the Chaos Emeralds from Shadow and having them surround him. Black Doom harnesses the power of the Emeralds and transforms himself into Devil Doom. With this insane increase in power, he'll kill Frieza. Devil Doom flies off after Vegeta and Frieza, leaving Shadow laying there defeated. Sonic runs up to him, saying not to give up yet. If they work together, they can defeat everybody here and go home. Shadow pushes Sonic away, telling him he has no need to fight anymore. His master can handle this, as now he's a failure to the Black Arms. Sonic tries once more to remind him of who he is, but Shadow Chaos controls away from him before he can hear it. Sonic curses that he still wasn't able to save Shadow, but Goku tells them they have more important matters to attend to right now, as Frieza is going to kill Vegeta. Vegeta attacks Frieza with all that he has, showing off his newfound powers he got on Earth. However, Frieza doesn't seem to be all that impressed with his showcase of abilities. He was never anything to him, and it seems he never will be. Vegeta is smacked around by Frieza, and then thrown right into Devil Doom. Vegeta powers up to get himself off of him, as Doom says he's glad that he'll get to kill the Saiyans today by his own hand. Frieza fires a death beam at the two, with Vegeta dodging as Doom deflects his. Frieza tells him he's had more than his fair share of fun going around and killing countless races, but the Saiyans are his to destroy. Goku then comes in to kick him away, telling him to try it. Frieza goes to retaliate, with Goku dodging and kneeing him right in the stomach. With Vegeta distracted watching Kakarot go to fight Frieza, Doom goes to blast him away, with Sonic homing attacking him right in the face to get him away. Sonic and Vegeta begin to fight side by side, attempting to end Doom's reign. Goku is being thrown around pretty easily by Frieza, with him saying that this is a step up from Vegeta, but not by much, and this is really all he's got. Goku smiles, saying he does have something he can show, and screams out, Kaioken! Goku bursts into a red energy, combining both the Akari form and the Kaioken. He didn't think he'd be able to do something like this, but after the Zenkai from Shadow, he's confident he can keep this up for at least a few minutes. Goku begins to actually be somewhat of a match for Frieza in this state, with the Emperor not happy at the constant increases in Saiyan power. He's not going to let this Super Saiyan legend be true. Vegeta and Sonic, on the other hand, aren't doing as good of a job, since Devil Doom has all of the Chaos Emeralds, and is definitely even more powerful than Super Shadow was. Sonic can push his Kaioken to the max, but if he pushes it further, he'll destroy his body before Doom can. Doom throws the two to the ground, with both of them reverting back to normal. Sonic can't even stand, with Vegeta only barely able to do so. Goku notices him struggling, but Frieza isn't letting him leave, saying if he can't kill Vegeta, he'll settle for second best. Amy runs up to Shadow, who has been watching the fight from a nearby cliff. She tells him he needs to go down there and do something, or they're all going to die. Shadow turns to glare at her. He says that everything is going according to plan, so there's no reason for him to help them. His master may have brandished him a failure, but he's not going to betray him for that. Amy gets into the fact that Shadow has no master. He realized that years ago when he saved them from the Ark. He had his memories messed with by Gerald Robotnik, and now Black Doom. Is he really going to let all of these other people control his life forever? She may not have known him for very long, but knows he has a good soul. She can sense it. If he didn't, why would he save them? All of the things Black Doom put into his head are a lie. That life outside of the Black Arms is valuable. Is this really what Maria would have wanted? Shadow's heart skips a beat. What did she say? Amy says Maria made him promise to protect humanity, to protect all of those weaker than him. Shadow grabs onto his head as memories of Maria begin to flash all through him. Of her kindness, her smile, the promise he made to her. Doom can sense that Shadow's mind is escaping to Hive Mind and tries to reign in control. Though, on the ground, Vegeta can see that Doom is occupied, so fires a Gallic gun at him in an attempt to surprise him. Doom is surprised and knocked back, disrupting his concentration. Shadow is grabbing his head with his true memories, fighting the Black Arms connection. Amy isn't going to give up and uses her newfound powers to reach inside of Shadow's head and push the memories to the forefront. Shadow yells out as everything comes back to him. Gerald, the Ark, Sonic, Goku, Maria. He finally remembers it all. Shadow breathes heavily as Amy comes over to make sure he's okay. Shadow sits up with tears in his eyes, telling Amy, "Thank you." Amy hugs Shadow, happy he's finally back. Doom can sense that Shadow has left them, and angrily screams at Vegeta that he's lost him his ultimate life form. Doom Chaos controls in front of Vegeta and stabs him right in the chest. Vegeta spits blood as Doom tosses him aside like trash. Vegeta lands right next to Goku and Frieza, with the two stopping to look. Goku yells out and goes to try and help, as Frieza just sighs. Sorry, he didn't get to kill Vegeta himself. Vegeta tells Kakarot to stop holding himself back. These two monsters, Frieza and Black Doom, killed their race after they did everything for them. He can't allow them to win in killing off all of the Saiyans. These two must die by a Saiyan's hands. As the last of the Saiyans, he needs to make sure they pay. Vegeta trails off and slips out of this world. Frieza laughs, saying what a pitiful way to go out, crying like an infant. Goku angrily launches a Kamehameha right at Frieza's face and flies right up into the air as high as he can out of sight. Goku reverts back to normal and sticks his hands up into the sky, gathering energy from all around, gathering energy for the Spirit Bomb. Sonic watched as Vegeta took his last breath, and feels anger swell through him once more. The dark aura surrounds him, with him knowing that Vegeta was a bad guy. He killed Tails in front of him for God's sake, but he didn't deserve to go out like that, fighting to avenge his race and failing. The anger swells through Sonic, but the dark energy disappears, replaced by a golden glow. Doom and Frieza can feel the energy surrounding the Hedgehog and wonder what exactly is happening. Sonic tells the two that they've killed so many, and indirectly are the causes for his friends' deaths. Yamcha, Tien, Knuckles, Tails. He's been fighting the entire time with anger, hatred, and rage. But this isn't what his friends would have wanted, seeing him turn into an entirely different person. No, he's done fighting with darkness. He's done fighting as viciously as these beasts in front of him. He's going to protect the friends he has now and to avenge the ones he's lost. The golden glow grows larger and larger. He's fighting for his friends, himself, and his world. Supersonic speeds in front of Doom, kicking him right in the chest, with him being blown back by the attack. Supersonic then appears in front of Frieza, going to nail him as well. Frieza attempts to block the attacks, but the two just end up pushing back on each other's hands. Frieza struggles to hold back Supersonic as he just smiles at him. Supersonic curls into a ball and unleashes multiple homing attacks onto Frieza, with him screaming out. Supersonic throws Chaos Energy balls all around Frieza too, and with a snap of his fingers, they all explode, sending Frieza flying as well. Doom comes up behind Supersonic, slashing right at him, with Supersonic blocking the attack with one arm and not even moving whatsoever. Doom cowers in shock. How is this possible, to transform without the emeralds? Supersonic speeds all around him, hitting him faster than he can even register. Doom Chaos controls away, attempting to regain his footing, but Supersonic speeds right into him right away, not finished yet. Frieza fires a death beam right at Sonic's back, with Sonic turning towards him and smiling once again. The two go in to attack him together, with Supersonic dodging all of their strikes. To them, it looks like he's standing still, with their attacks just going right through him. Supersonic eventually blasts Frieza away, and then places both his hands on Doom's chest, spreading his energy all throughout, which throws the Chaos Emeralds right out of him. Black Doom yells out as Sonic throws him up into the air for Shadow to catch. The two fly next to each other, smiling. Supersonic faces Super Shadow, saying it's good to have him back. The two fist bump, as Super Shadow glares daggers at Black Doom, saying he's his. Super Shadow bursts off to absolutely beat the crap out of Doom, as Supersonic flies down to finish off Frieza.
Sonic wins!
Super Sonic begins to slow down after exerting so much energy. Though, Shadow isn't leaving him to die. Shadow slams into Frieza and stabs him right in the gut with a Chaos Spear. Frieza spits blood as Sonic rams right into his face with a figure 8. Black Doom slowly flies over, too damaged by Shadow to really do much, but he's not giving up yet. He desperately tries one last attack on Shadow, punching him with full force. The punch hits Shadow directly in the gut, with it doing nothing to him. Shadow grabs the fist off of him, telling Doom,
"This is the end of you, and the end to my cursed past."
Shadow headbutts Doom away and traps him in a chaos control vortex. He then appears next to Sonic, who has just winded Frieza considerably. The two then throw Frieza next to Black Doom, trapping him in chaos control as well. They then scream out "now" as Goku throws down the Spirit Bomb towards the two. Shadow grabs onto Sonic to cast the two of them out of there, with the Spirit Bomb pushing right into the two tyrants. With them trapped in chaos control, they are completely defenseless when it comes to the sheer power of the Spirit Bomb. Goku managed to gather energy from this world, his friends, and worlds surrounding them to destroy these tyrants who killed his race. The Spirit Bomb envelops the two as they scream out. The bomb explodes, shaking the entire planet. Piccolo is thankfully able to cover the others in his own chaos energy to protect them from the blast. The planet is shaken, with the only land left around them, the one Piccolo is able to protect. Sonic and Shadow chaos control to the others, with Goku in hand, reverting back to normal, with Sonic collapsing in exhaustion. The others run up to hug them, congratulating each other on finally dealing with the two once and for all. Shade asks Shadow if Black Doom could have just chaos controlled away, but he says that he made sure to trap him in chaos control himself. That way, he would have no way of using those powers to escape. Plus, he was linked to him in some way, and he can't feel the hive mind anymore. Black Doom and all of the Black Arms are dead. Gohan asks Sonic how he was able to transform without any emeralds, with Sonic telling him he had access to the emeralds for a long time, and assumes since he had them for so long, he was able to just naturally absorb some of their energy over time, being able to access this version of Super Sonic without them. As they celebrate, Piccolo looks over his home planet, saddened by the state it's in, as most of the Namekians are dead. Goku tells him not to worry, as once they get back to Earth, they'll use their Dragon Balls to wish everybody back. Dende is really happy to hear this, and says that with this over, he might as well head off to the last Namekian village Amy and Metal Sonic save to let them know what happened. Dende flies off as Krillin then panics. He remembers that Bulma's still off in a cave somewhere by herself. Gohan says that they dropped Eggman off with her before they came to fight, so at least she has him for company. Some company, Sonic jokes, with them all laughing. Until Sonic stops laughing. He looks down and sees a hole has been blown right through his chest. The others stare in horror as Sonic collapses. They turn to see what's going on, as Shadow goes to dodge an attack, with him not getting out of the way in time, as it pierces his side. Shadow collapses in pain, but the others seeing Frieza, transformed once more by the power of the Mother Wisp. He roars, saying he never wanted to use this power, and these filthy Saiyans and Hedgehogs forced his hand. If he didn't activate it when he did, he may have very well been killed, which is something he's not going to let them live down. He sends a tentacle bursting right through Piccolo and slamming him right into the ground. Goku screams out at Frieza to stop it right now, but Frieza wants to see him suffer. He sticks his finger out and sends Krillin, Amy, Gohan, Shade, and Julie Sue off of the ground. Goku rushes over and is able to grab Gohan and Amy, who are right next to each other, as the other three are launched into the air. Goku screams, begging Frieza to put them down, but Frieza doesn't respond as he clenches his fist, expanding the three out, tearing their insides apart with his power. Krillin screams out Goku's name as he and the others explode into a million pieces. Goku, Amy, and Gohan look up in horror as bits and pieces of their friends rain down on them. Frieza laughs now, seeing the looks on their faces. He says he'll give him a choice now of who he wants to die, the girl or the little boy. Goku is speechless.
You ruthless, heartless bastard!
He shakes violently as he looks at the mangled bodies of Sonic, Shadow, Piccolo, and the bits and pieces of Krillin, Shade, and Julie Sue. Lightning strikes all around as he looks at the bodies of his friends. His hair raises on end.
I will make you suffer!
Frieza stares out at Goku, seeing that this is just like what the Hedgehog was doing earlier. He has to stop it. Frieza launches the other tentacle at Goku with a lightning bolt from the sky, striking it away. Goku's hair stands straight up as he transforms himself. Frieza recoils. This form. Saiyan should only be able to access Grade 8 power. This is no Grade 8. No, it can't be. This can't be the Super Saiyan? Goku looks up at Frieza. Unbridled rage fills his eyes. Piccolo is able to regenerate, looking on to see Goku in this state. Has he managed to access the power of this super form without the emeralds as well? No, this is something different. Goku turns to Piccolo and tells him to chaos control the survivors out of here and to then get off the planet. Gohan asks him what about him, with Goku roaring.
Do as I tell you right now, before I lose what little sense of reason I have left!
Piccolo grabs the others and tries to use the emeralds to chaos control away. However, the emeralds have been spent of their energy, being used for so long by Shadow and Black Doom. So he has to use his own chaos control to get them out of there. Who are you? Goku tells Frieza that this is a different form than what the Chaos Emeralds can give. When Sonic looked like this, it was due to the countless amount of Chaos energy that he had absorbed over the years. This is all of his own power, awakened by rage. Vegeta told him about a form like this, a legend passed down through the Saiyans for centuries. Vegeta thought the Ikari form was this legendary Super Saiyan, but he was wrong. He has awakened this ultimate power now. He is Son Goku, the Super Saiyan. Frieza laughed, saying so there was a truth to the legend after all. Well, he's not going to die by the hands of a Saiyan, and summons a giant death ball over his head, yelling that this planet is finished. Goku rushes over to try and stop him, but the blast hits the planet too fast, and everything around them erupts. From the other world, King Kai and the others watch as Frieza blows Namek up, with Tails not believing that Sonic and Goku are dead. It can't be over like that. Knuckles tries to comfort Tails, saying that hopefully they'll see them here again, and they can devise another plan before Frieza can get to Earth. This is when Kami speaks to King Kai, informing him that Mr. Popo is going out now to gather all the Earth's Dragon Balls. That way, they can revive those that have been in his care. King Kai can't believe that Kami is speaking, as that means Piccolo is alive too, meaning Namek must still be there. He checks in again to see that while the planet is badly damaged and close to exploding, everybody is still alive. Frieza curses that he held back too much, with Goku calling him a coward for taking the easy way out. This sets Frieza over the edge, with him unleashing 100% of his power and exploding back into his Mother Wisp transformation. Frieza rushes Goku, the two clashing blows once more. As the two fight it out, King Kai and Kami come up with a plan to use the Dragon Balls to bring everybody back and return them back to Earth. The others who left the battlefield are being healed by Dende, since thankfully Piccolo is able to hone in on their energy. Even though it looked very dire for him, Sonic survived and is back up on his feet. Shadow is healed up as well, and once they are informed of what happened, they are instantly filled with rage. Shadow is angry since he wanted to get forgiveness from Shade and Julie Sue after what the Black Arms did to their people. Now he's truly failed them. With Sonic not believing that Krillin is gone. He's already died once before to Chaos Piccolo, meaning he can't be brought back. Sonic erupts into his super form once more, telling the group he's going with Goku to get revenge. Amy tries to hold him back from going, as she already thought she lost him. She can't do it again. He says he's not just gonna sit back and wonder if his friend is dying or not. He has to do this. Shadow says he's coming along too. But once he summons the emeralds, he can feel that their power is waning due to overuse. They've had a little bit to cool down, but he doesn't know how long he'll be able to keep the super form up. Piccolo tells him that he can't use the emeralds to go and fight. He can feel that this planet doesn't have much longer before it explodes. So, they need them to get everybody out of here. Even if Shadow doesn't go, he knows he can't use the emeralds to bring everybody back to the planet. Only a few of them will be able to get out alive. Sonic tells him that he's off, and they better figure it out fast. Sonic bursts off, instantly arriving at super speed to knock Frieza away. Goku turns, really happy to see that his friend is alive. Sonic is surprised to see what he's become now, as this isn't like any other super form he's ever seen. Frieza launches back in, infuriated, as he thought he already murdered this one. On Earth, Mr. Popo thankfully has gathered up all the Dragon Balls, and is able to wish back everybody who has been killed by Frieza's men. All around them, the Namekians rise back up from the dead, with those killed by Frieza back to life. The group look around, happy to see that everybody is coming back, but this is even worse, as now there's really no way to get them off of the planet. Shade, Julie Sue, and Vegeta rise back up from the dead, wondering how it is that they're alive. They're even more stumped to see Porunga, the dragon god, right near them. King Kai communicates with them, saying that they need to go to Porunga to wish them all back to Earth. Vegeta doesn't really understand what the voice in his head is telling him, but if this is the eternal dragon Porunga, maybe he can finally have his wish of immortality. He's just experienced death, and doesn't want that again. Shade says that this is not the time, as they need to get everybody out of here. Vegeta doesn't care if everybody else lives or dies, however. He just wants his revenge on Black Doom and Frieza. He goes to push it to his side, attempting to go to the dragon to make his wish, but the two stand in his way and attempt to fight him to get him away. King Kai curses that Vegeta's selfishness is going to get them all killed. There's nobody close enough to get the Porunga to make the wish. Is this the end of them? Kami has been listening in this whole time, and realizes the Namekian Dragon Balls aren't going to be saving them. He thinks of a way to get them all off, and while he doesn't want it to come to this, he turns to the Master Emerald. Kami tells King Kai to hang in tight, as this is their last option. Kami walks up to the Master Emerald, as this is their last chance. Tikal tells him this isn't a good idea, as she's warned the kids for years now never to use the full power of the Master Emerald, as with all that power, it can kill you. Kami tells her he has to try. He is the guardian of the Master Emerald, and the only Namekian who can save his race. Kami flies on top of the Master Emerald and begins to draw on its power. The Master Emerald's power flows through Kami, transforming him for the first time in years into Super Kami. Super Kami screams out the Chaos chant, honing in on all of the life forms on Namek to bring them here. The residents of Namek all begin to get a glow around them, which Shadow and Piccolo recognize as Chaos Control. Somebody's trying to use Chaos Control on them. Piccolo can feel the connection between Kami, knowing he's trying to save them. Can he do it though from so far away? Super Kami screams out, chanting more to enchant everybody to bring him back. Tikal screams for him to stop. He doesn't have enough power and is just gonna kill himself. Kami isn't going to fail. Not enough power. He's going to change that, even if it kills him. Super Kami screams as he absorbs the rest of the Master Emerald's power within himself, exploding in an orange glow as he transforms once again. Tikal is blown back as Angel Island quaked with this power. With all of this chaos energy flowing through Kami, he finally screams out, Chaos Control. Everybody on Namek is suddenly filled with this energy and teleported right back onto Angel Island. All except Goku, Sonic, and Frieza. Kami made sure not to bring Frieza here, but Sonic and Goku could feel the energy surrounding them and knew what was happening. If they are brought back to Earth, then there's nobody left to fight Frieza. They powered up, blowing the chaos energy off of themselves, and stayed behind to defeat Frieza for good. The others, all on Angel Island now, are ecstatic that they made it out, with Dende going over to Kami as fast as he can to heal him, saving him from death. Shadow looks at the sky, telling Sonic and Goku that they can do this.
it's time to stop playing around. Well, you're an impudent one. You were.
The two revert back to their normal states, collapsing in pain to the ground. The Kaioken was the final straw, and they can barely move. The planet is going to blow. Sonic tries to stand up to run them to the ship, but he's too worn down. He can't get up. Goku can just get on his feet, but he can only walk. There's no way he can get both Sonic and himself out of here together. Lava spews from the planet as the two look right at each other. This is it. Goku kneels down to Sonic, his best friend, and the two of them hold on to each other in their final moments. With that, the planet explodes. King Kai sees the explosion from his planet, and has to be the one to break the news to everyone. Tails collapses, crying from Otherworld, as Amy and Gohan do the same on Angel Island. Shadow curses. They did defeat Frieza, but at what cost? This is when the Namekian Dragon Balls all land on the island, having flown off here from Namek itself. The Grand Elder tells the group that his time is coming to an end, but not to worry. With his passing, he's giving ownership of the Dragon Balls to Mori, who he believes will make a fine guardian. With their Dragon Balls, they can revive them and the rest of their friends, as their Dragon Balls can revive somebody an unlimited number of times. This is great news for everybody, as now they can bring back Krillin, Goku, and Sonic. As the Grand Elder passes, the Namekians mourn his loss, but are hopeful that with the Dragon Balls, now they can have a second chance on a new planet. Eggman walks out with Metal Sonic and Metal Goku, telling them this is the best outcome he could have gotten, with those two dead on another world. Shadow appears in front of the Doctor, telling him to watch his tone. He may have helped them out, but he still hasn't forgiven him for everything he's done. Metal Sonic pushes Shadow off, as Eggman says that he's not going to start anything now. He was able to repair Metal Sonic and Metal Goku with Bulma, but he almost died for a second time, so just wants to go home to cool off. He knows those two thorns in his side will be revived eventually, so he's got to prepare a way to end them himself. Shadow isn't ready to let Eggman go, but Gohan stops him. He tells Shadow that if it wasn't for Eggman, they may have been killed by the Saiyans, and never would have made it to Namek in the first place to revive everybody. He deserves a second chance. He needs to let him go. Shadow is against it, but isn't going to argue with Goku's son, and tells Eggman to leave now. Eggman, Metal Sonic, and Metal Goku all fly off of the island, with Vegeta attempting to do the same as well. The two Nocturnes are disgusted with him, as they all almost died because of him. Vegeta calls them hypocrites, as they risked the safety of Earth by leaving to go off into space all those years ago, so they can't judge him. This gets the two to back off, with Vegeta looking on, wondering where he can go now. Bulma walks up to him, saying even though she thinks he's pretty evil, he did a big part in saving them, so invites him to stay at her place. Vegeta tries to tell her he's not interested, but Bulma doesn't take no for an answer, and forces him to come along. Vegeta doesn't know how he's being bossed around by this Earthling woman, but complies. With the damage done, our heroes begin to try and get their lives back in order for the eventual return of Sonic and Goku. The Namekians all stay on Angel Island, exploring while Kami and Piccolo get to know about their race. Shade and Julie Sue meet the legend Tikal, with the three echidnas discussing their past in life, and Tikal saying she can't wait until they meet Knuckles. Gohan goes back to stay with his mom, while Shadow, with no place to go, goes to Amy's house to stay with her. He has her to thank for him getting his memories back, and she's been nothing but kind to him. Amy and Shadow get along very well, with Amy breaking right past Shadow's tough exterior to see how shy and kind he is underneath, which is something she actually finds really attractive. Eventually, Shadow and Amy go out to Gun, since Amy makes Shadow go to apologize for all the trouble he caused years prior. The Gun Commander isn't happy with all he did, but Rouge tells him to lay off, since he saved her life and a bunch of other lives on Namek. Once the Commander finds out about Black Doom's death too, and that Shadow helped take him down, he realizes that maybe Shadow isn't truly the death machine he saw in the Ark all those years ago. He tells Shadow that if he really wants to make a better life for himself, then why not he join them, as him and Agent Rouge can start their own task force to make the world a better place. Amy is super proud of Shadow for being able to get a position like this, telling Shadow he better take it. Shadow does take it, asking what the Force will be called, with the Commander informing him that they'll be known as Team Dark. Eggman, after flying off with his creations, makes it back to a lab. He tells the two to get back into pods next to Emerald, with the two following the orders. The two head into the pods, with the pods pulling the recordings of everything they saw on Namek. Eggman laughs, as not only did they pick up everything before he got there, but once he did, he and Bulma finished repairing them pretty quickly. To get more intel, he sent off the two to watch the battle from a distance and not interfere this time. This way, he can get even more data. He has gotten a lot more than he thought. Jiro comes up behind Eggman, asking if everything went according to plan, with Eggman revealing that they've exceeded it. After 4 long months pass, the Namekian Dragon Balls are activated once again, and with a tune-up for Mori, thankfully now they can revive multiple people at once. The wish to Purunga is made to revive those killed by Vegeta and Nappa, with Yamcha, Tien, Knuckles, and Tails returning to life. The next wish is to build a new Namek for the Namekians to live on, and once that is completed, the final wish is to revive all those killed by the actions of Frieza and his men. Purunga grants the wish, with the souls being summoned to Earth and reformed, with surprisingly only Krillin coming back. The group are happy that Krillin has been brought back, but are confused as to where Sonic and Goku are. Mori stops the dragon before he leaves, asking why he couldn't bring those two back. Purunga simply states that he wasn't able to revive the ones known as Son Goku and Sonic the Hedgehog because they're still alive. Shadow homing attacks into a Badnik, bouncing off of it and slamming another one flying into the air. Rouge the Bat flies up to it and kicks it to pieces, with the animals inside bursting out free. The two continue their gun mission to retrieve a massive super weapon. As they travel through the facility, they come up to a walled door. Rouge hacks into the control panel, with the door opening for them to immediately be blasted at. Shadow grabs Rouge to get them out of the way of the machine gun fire, as Omega walks out and continues his attack. Shadow uses the Chaos Emerald to Chaos Control behind Omega, blasting at him in the back. Omega barely stumbles back, turning to punch Shadow across the face. He stumbles back in pain as the two of them begin to clash blows. Rouge has to fly at her top speeds to avoid getting caught in the crossfire as the two slam into each other. She finally finds an opening to get in between the two, telling them that they better stop this fighting right now. They just need to talk to each other. A purple beam then flies out, hitting Rouge in the back, with her collapsing to the ground unconscious. Shadow and Omega turn to see the blast coming, with them dodging out of the way. Omega fires missiles towards where the beams were shot, with them hitting the ground and creating a massive explosion. Shadow rushes over to check on Rouge as Omega slowly walks towards the flames. A Gizoid jumps out and slams its fist into Omega's chest, causing him to malfunction and collapse powerless. Shadow watches the Gizoid take out Omega, and as he's trying to wonder where he's seen one before, he's blasted from behind by the same purple beam, collapsing onto Rouge. The Nocturnus clan member lowers its gun and places the three into special pods
to keep them contained.
Scout 925-2008 reporting in. The ultimate lifeform has been captured. He's significantly weaker than before without the aid of the Chaos Emeralds. With him out of the way, the planet will be ours for the taking, my master, Lord Slug.
Piccolo and Gohan spar on Angel Island as Shade and Julie Sue continue their talks with the call on Echidna history. Knuckles sleeps on the Master Emerald, with Kami doing his duty by watching the Earth below. Even though things have been peaceful since the other Namekians left, he can't shake off the feeling that something is on Earth that shouldn't be. As he's looking down, he suddenly hears two large gasps behind him. He turns to see Shade and Julie Sue standing up, looking like they've seen a ghost.
What's the matter, you two? What are you sensing?
The two stand there, terrified to speak, with the others trying to figure out what it is that they're sensing, but not coming across anything. That is, until they feel a gigantic energy. But not on Earth, in the sky. The group look up, with Shade collapsing to the ground.
No, it can't be. He's found us.
Who's found you, young lady? Who's coming here?
Our master. The master of the Nocturnus clan, Lord Slug.
That's impossible. Didn't you say all the Nocturnes were killed by Shadow and the Black Arms?
That's true, but didn't we use the Dragon Balls to revive all those killed by them?
Oh man, I should have had Dende with the wish better.
It's not just this Lord Slug up there either. It's a whole colony. Are these the rest of the Echidnas?
Shade explains to the group that after the Knuckles clan and Nocturnus clan separated, the Nocturnes went into space struggling to find purpose, and once their leader, Imperior Ix, was killed by Frieza, all hope seemed lost for the Echidnas. That is, until they were found and brought back into prominence by the all-powerful Lord Slug. He wasn't an Echidna leader, which made the Nocturnes turn away. But once they saw how powerful he was and that he could protect them from Frieza, they joined his side. As time went on, old age began to hinder their leader, and unfortunately for him, he wasn't at his prime when the Nocturnus clan were set up by Frieza and led into an attack from the Black Arms. Lord Slug could not hold off the power of the ultimate life form in his old age, and was killed along with the other Nocturnes. Luckily, Shade and Julie Sue were able to get away, starting their new life. But with Slug revived, he's here to get his revenge on Shadow and the defectors Shade and Julie Sue.
If it's a fight against Shadow he wants, then he's got a death wish. If he killed him before he can do it again.
No, something is not right this time, Piccolo. I cannot sense Shadow's energy, and the energies of Lord Slug and his notorious clan members approach us too rapidly. I estimate if they hit Earth at the velocity they're at now, then this planet is done for.
Then what do you propose we do? Shoot down their ship before they land?
And kill all of the Echidnas inside?
I was worried seeing something like that, Knuckles. I am sorry. I know they're your people. However, it is them or humanity.
Knuckles looks up in the sky, a whole ship full of his own people. The people who abandoned Kami and set up their own galactic kill squad out in the galaxy, led by a vicious dictator. It's not that hard to make the decision, but he looks over to his fellow Echidnas for their opinion. Tikal, of course, being the oldest Echidna here, has the final say. She tells him that if it will save this planet, then it has to be done. Kami reaches out telepathically to the other Z-Fighters to warn them of the incoming Nocturnus clan, and that Bulma should gather the Dragon Balls in case anything happens. Once all of the Z-Fighters have been prepped, Piccolo and Knuckles fly up into the sky to try and intercept the ship. Knuckles and Piccolo wait until the ship comes into view, sending out energy beams directly at it. To their surprise, their beams bounce right off, and the ship hasn't slowed any. Knuckles and Piccolo don't have any time to get out of the way, bracing themselves as the ship flies directly into them. The ship slams into the Earth, with the entire planet being shaken up by its impact. Once the rest of the Z-Fighters realize that they're still alive, they go towards the energies, finding the spaceship and a large amount of civilians gathered around it. The ship's doors open, and floods of Nocturnus clan members come marching out. They yell out to the civilians that the Nocturnes have arrived back to their rightful planet, and it is now under the rule of the almighty Lord Slug. The civilians, of course, don't take this seriously and start laughing until the Nocturnes start shooting at them. Gohan isn't going to handle watching this, powering up, rushing in to attack the Nocturnes. Everybody yells out for Gohan to stop, but it's too late as he's beating up Nocturnes all over the place. They all shoot at Gohan, but Tails flies in and shoots out their blast of his own. The rest are then launched into the air, with Amy smacking them away with hammers. As they fight, Krillin notices a Nocturne returning to the ship with 3 pods floating behind him. He tries to take a closer look and notices that Shadow and Rouge are in 2 of them. He rushes in and slams the Nocturnes away from the pods.
Amy, get over here! They have Shadow!
Amy is a little busy with the Nocturnes and can't hear him, so Krillin tries to open the pods himself. They're sealed tight, so he readies a Destructo Disc to just cut them out.
Just what do you think you're doing there?
A shiver goes down Krillin's spine. He turns to throw the Destructo Disc at him, but the man disappears and slams Krillin on the back of the head. Krillin collapses as Gohan senses his energy depleting, rushing over to help him. Amy reaches out her hand with Psychonesis to try and stop Gohan.
Stop! He's too powerful for you!
Gohan powers up, breaking free of her hold. Gohan flies over to the man, stopping right in front of him.
Are you the same Lord Slug that terrorized Shade and Julie Sue?
Shade and Julie Sue are here. Where are those traitors?
As if I'd ever tell you, leave this planet now, or you'll be in a world of pain.
You've got guts saying something like that to me, kid. Why don't I have you join my crew? You'd be better than all these useless echidna.
Gohan punches Slug in the chest, but Slug doesn't budge. Gohan continues to pound away with his fists, but Slug continues to look down at Gohan and smile. He grabs the boy's head and reads his mind. He sees the location of the traitors in Gohan's head, and the Dragon Balls! There are Dragon Balls here? Slug looks up as a giant blue cube falls on him, causing him to let go of Gohan. Tails flies over to grab Gohan and flies away.
We can't beat them the way we are now. We gotta return Ragu with Piccolo for now. Don't want to, but he's way too strong. You're right. The others get out okay? Don't worry. I teleported them all away. Now it's our turn. Piccolo and Knuckles are still on their way right now to stop them. I don't want us to get in their way. Good idea. I wouldn't want Shay to see her old boss. He's really dangerous. I can tell. Let's get out of here.
Slug lifts the cube off of him, looking over to see that the ones who just attacked him have cowardly run away. No matter, he doesn't need them anymore. He has the ultimate life form and the Dragon Balls. He pulls out Gohan's Drop Dragon radar and begins to search, already finding a bunch of them grouped together. He gives the radar to the Nocturnes, demanding that they go out to search for the balls. Since Bulma had already grouped 5 together, gathering all 7 takes no time at all, and the almighty Shenron is summoned. Slug goes to make his wish.
Wait.
Shade, about time you came back. Just wait in the ship for now. I'll be back for you later.
No, Slug. I'm not letting you achieve your eternal youth.
The other Nocturnes hold their guns up at Shade.
Back away, traitor.
He's a Namekian.
The Nocturnes loosen the grips on their guns and look up at Slug.
Sir, is she telling the truth?
She's lying.
You know, I would never do that to my own people. I've spent enough time on Namek to know what a Namekian looks like. How dare you lie to our people all this time? Our whole society was formed against Namekians.
Shade collapses as the other Nocturnes raise their guns to Slug. In an instant, he grabs one by the neck and holds him out as a shield while the other one blasts him to death. Slug throws his body at the other and launches his eye beams at them to vaporize them both.
With that out of the way, Eternal Dragon! I wish for you to return me to my youth, return me to my prime when I was flooded with power!
Shenron's eyes glow red, and Slug begins to change. He begins to shift more and more, growing and growing in power, until he is finally restored to the prime of his youth. The Dragon Balls scatter across the planet, as Knuckles and Piccolo land at Slug's feet.
Damn it, we're too late.
You're different from what I felt before. What did you wish for? Eternal youth? Surprise! So many have been guessing that today. Though I shouldn't be surprised that a member of my own race can figure me out so fast. Own race? What are you on about? Did Shade not mention it to you? I suppose she didn't want to offend you after you'd shown her so much kindness. I am like you.
Slug lifts his helmet off and throws it to the ground, revealing his green skin and antenna.
You're a Namekian? Not just any Namekian, a Super Namekian!
He extends his arm and shoves it right in Knuckles' face. He is sent away with Knuckles punching Slug's arm repeatedly to try and get him to let go, but it does nothing. Knuckles is slammed into a nearby restaurant as Piccolo powers up into his Chaos form. He Chaos controls behind Slug, who blocks his punch, clashing with each other, blow for blow.
This isn't like any Namekian form I've ever seen. You must be the famous Demon King Chaos Piccolo I've heard all about.
Slug slammed through Piccolo's body with a punch, though to his surprise, Piccolo doesn't seem that fazed.
Haven't heard anything useful, apparently.
Piccolo eye-beams Slug in his eyes, causing him to scream out. Piccolo then wraps his limbs around Slug, squeezing. Slug, annoyed now, bolts up, breaking the water limbs instantly. He then opens his mouth, unleashing a darkness blaster to envelop Piccolo. He is launched away into nearby rubble, with Chaos Knuckles burrowing out of the ground, flying up to slam Slug under the chin. He only stumbles back a bit and goes to swing right away. Knuckles barely blocks to hit, with him blasting Chaos energy towards him. Slug catches the blast with his bare hands, throwing him back into Knuckles. Knuckles is blown back with Slug immediately on top of him, barraging him with strikes while he's down. Piccolo reappears to kick Slug in the face, but Slug catches his leg, throwing him into Knuckles. He barrages them with Ki on the ground, with Piccolo barely able to get his shield up in time to block the two. However, the blast barrage is too much, and the barrier begins to shatter, though the two are Chaos controlled away just in time.
Was that you? That wasn't me.
It was me.
Shadow, where have you been?
My team was ambushed in the shadows and captured in special containment pods.
How did you get out?
You wouldn't believe me.
Slug looks around for where the two went, when he can see a giant yellow light launching towards him. He sidesteps out of the way, looking down to see the man who freed Team Dark.
It's been a long time, Slug.
Prince Vegeta. This planet just doesn't fail to surprise me.
It's been many years since our last battle. I've learned quite a few new tricks since then.
I'm not here for you, Vegeta. I'm here for the Hedgehog.
Hearing that Slug came all this way to fight the furry he freed from captivity and not him, angers Vegeta to absolutely no end. He explodes into his Akari form, unleashing a Gallic gun towards Slug. Slug dodges the blast, flying down towards Vegeta, punching him right in the chest. Vegeta spits blood as he is burrowed into the earth.
The idiot! Why isn't he waiting for me?
Shadow powers up, Chaos controlling underground grabs Vegeta, and Chaos controls back above ground.
Let go of me! I don't need your help to beat this clown! Obviously you do.
Slug's hands burst out from the earth to grab hold of the two. They blast at him, but he appears too fast, punching both of them in the chest. Shadow knees him in the gut, with Slug still pushing forward to his surprise. Vegeta spins under him, slamming him over the head, with Slug going down as Vegeta punches Shadow in the face out of the way.
You're going to get us both killed!
Slug laughs as he and Vegeta continue to trade more blows, battling throughout the city.
Let him go. His loss if he dies.
Shadow doesn't listen to Piccolo and barrels off, with Piccolo sensing a faint energy next to him. He looks down to see it's Shade. She's still alive. He places his hand down, hoping to be able to heal her injuries. Slug continues his barrage against Vegeta, with Vegeta trying his best to fight back, but nothing he's doing is even making Slug flinch.
This the new trick you're talking about? You were always just talk.
He grabs Vegeta's head, slamming it into his knee. Vegeta screams out as Slug swings him around, crashing through the building walls. Shadow appears right under him to catch his foot, powering up. He throws Slug back and launches a Chaos Spear right through his arm, pinning him to the wall.
That's not gonna work this time.
Slug rips his arm clean off and regrows it in an instant like it's nothing.
You don't have that good of an army backing you up this time, Shadow. You're not getting away from me this time.
Slug begins to grow his power more and more, and then begins to even grow out in size. Shadow fires off more Chaos Spears to drill into Slug, but they don't even faze him.
I'm finally back to my true glory. Not even the ultimate life form can kill me anymore.
Shadow knows he won't be able to do anything he is now, so... Two golden glows shoot out of the rubble. One of the glows, Slug recognizes all too well.
No, Can't be! He doesn't have all the emeralds. Neither does he. They can't use any super form without them. How?
If Kakarot can do it, then so can I. Now witness my true power! Stay here. Piss off! This is my fight. I will defeat Lord Slug and claim honor as the Prince of all Satan. Chaos Lance! His regeneration is too powerful to stop on our own, but a combined attack could kill him in one shot. I'll teleport us away to gather energy for— This is my fight! As the Prince of all Saiyans, it is my duty to defeat Lord Slug. I shall win this battle on my own. I don't need your help. Okay, so besides the fact that you're ignoring me saving your life, Vegeta, you can't beat him. It would be funny to see you try, but this is about defending Earth. There's no time for games or your ridiculous pride. Ridiculous! The pride of a Saiyan? Only a fool defends the weak. Allow me to show you why. Big Bang Attack! Vegeta, no! Vegeta, yes! Hide in here. Don't come out until I come back for you. Trust me, I will win. Gallic Gun! Oh damn, he might have won. Wait a minute, his energy. Vegeta, no! Vegeta, yeah! Chaos Control! Nice going, Hedgehog. Now we're almost out of energy. I was so close! I definitely could have defeated Lord Slug. But you had to get in the way. Now your precious Earth is— I dare you. Say one thing about the Earth. One sentence. One word. Whatever. Where are you going? To stop him. You're wasting your time. Even at full power, you don't have enough energy to kill him. Even if you have more energy than me right now. Your desire to protect weaklings baffles me. And the idiotic pride of the Saiyans baffles me. Especially you. You never cared about the Saiyans, but you scream about Saiyan pride. But where are the Saiyans now?
The Saiyans knew nothing of real strength.
And neither do you. There is a whole planet of people willing to accept you, and you don't even care. Stay here and die if you don't want to help. Know nothing of strength! What would any of you know about strength? I don't have enough power for a long fight. Then let's do this quick.
Their power fades away with the two staring back at each other.
Why'd you help me back there?
Vegeta growls and turns away.
You've beaten me before. I won't let someone else take the credit of killing you before we have our rematch, and I can take that prize.
Vegeta blasts away as Shadow gives a smile. In the aftermath of the Slug invasion, the remaining Nocturnes were banished into the Twilight Cage by Tikal and Kami, never to be seen again due to their crimes. Shade was thankfully saved by Piccolo, with her rejoining with Julie Sue.
I told him in the end what he was. They actually fought back. Not all of them, but the ones closest to him. They still had the honor of the Echidna, even in the end.
The two will continue to keep the legacy alive somewhat, now as true Echidnas. Omega was freed as well by Vegeta, with him deciding to join with Team Dark after witnessing how much destruction Shadow and Vegeta caused, thinking it was really cool. A deep hatred for Eggman among the group also helps too. So, now Omega has become the newest member of Team Dark.
Oh yeah, baby, this makes us a team!
With the demise of Slug, all now seems at peace once more, with the Z-Fighters going about their lives. However, out in space...
Yeah! Did you feel that?
I did! There's no way he could have survived!
Wait, who are you talking about?
Who are you talking about?
The weird, scary Super Namek-like energy? I can't feel it anymore, but it was kinda close to Frieza. Not when he used the Mother Wisp, though.
That's who I'm talking about. It's Frieza! He's still alive!
Earth, the planet of the ones who did this to me. It's time to show these fools the new and improved might of Mecha Frieza.